Good afternoon, Mom. How you doing today on your birthday?
Oh, doing just fine, Jimmy. Did you get me a present?
Yeah, we'll get you some presents here.
I don't want to prompt you, but fork it over.
I was real impressed with that. She
Oh.
had to have you have that.
Oh, that's nice. A jewel box with a mirror.
Real pretty.
Right. Let's see what we got here.
She's got good taste.
Ooh, that is pretty. Rainbow on it. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that is pretty. Thank you very much. That's pretty.
And we was in the store, and I picked up this card, and I was admiring it. And then Cheryle picked it up, and she looked at it too. We didn't know we was looking at the same card.
That must have been the right one then. Oh, that's pretty. Pink is a pretty color. Okay.
Read it out loud.
Okay. Those special times like birthdays seem the nicest ones by far. To tell you very lovingly how wonderful you are. Oh. You surely know you're loved a lot each day the whole year through, and always with.
Okay, I've thought of this as kind of a time capsule, Mom, to when we play this tape over again a year or 10 years from now, we'll be able to get your feelings on certain subjects right now. And I've been calling you Mom up to now, but for the sake of the film and the time capsule, you need to state your name.
Am I rank and serial number? Okay, my name is Patricia Alton.
Now, the reason this is important is because someday we might be all passed away, and some people who don't even know about the Altons or the McAdoo's might be looking at this, and they'll be wondering, well, Mom, who's Mom, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Now, I'd like you to give like a brief character summary, you know, like where you work at, and just say a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I work at Grandpa's store in East St. Louis, and I've worked there for 7.5 years. And
Come on, you're a very involved person. Tell a little bit.
Like what? What else?
What church do you go to?
What church? I go to Alpha and Omega Christian Fellowship at the old State Park School. And I work every Friday at the fish fry at Alpha and Omega. And
okay, hopefully our questions will get something more. Okay, I got a big question for her right now. Are you happy right now, and why? If not, then why?
Ah, Jimmy,
Very
honestly,
deep question.
those are deep questions. You ought to be a little more specific than that.
Just say yes, and because
yes,
it's my birthday.
Yes, because it's my birthday.
Very good.
We'll pump it.
The next person might say no, because not everybody's going to
It's my birthday.
be ecstatic on your birthday. Okay, I got some general questions here that me and Lila thought of. What do you think your short-range goals will be for the next half a year to a year?
Oh, that's simple. I've got some short-range goals right now. My immediate goal is I want you to help me to get this house put in my name and everything for the purpose of getting a loan on this house. And next thing I want to do is to get a trailer permit from the courthouse up there, and then I want to tear down that little house. Did you want me to write a book about this and everything?
Go as far as you want.
Okay, we want
Stop
to
whenever you want.
get the little house tore down and get a nice trailer set up over there. And well, that's my short-range goal.
Pause it. Right. There's a way we can edit this, isn't there? Go. Okay. Okay, what do you think your long-range goals would be like maybe for the next 2 to 3 years? Now the trailer, that's not going to be long-range because we're going to see that happen this year.
Yeah, hopefully that's what I want to happen this year.
This is kind of a deep question because people don't really think about their long-range goals.
Long-range, I really don't have any actual long-range goals. I just, just keep working and pay off my what my short range got me into. So I don't really have any long range.
Not everybody really has any long range goals. Some people just live from day to day.
Well, that's about the way it is.
You didn't bring that toy?
Go on.
However the Lord leads in my life, that's just all. I just don't have any.
Okay. Our questions shouldn't burden you. They should just get you to tell a little bit about yourself, okay? Okay. What do you think is the most significant thing that's happened in your life? Real deep question.
Oh, that is a deep question. Well, the most significant thing that has ever happened, it's like a focal point in my life, is on Easter of 1981, I committed my life to Christ. That's the most important thing that's ever happened to my life. You know,
That's pretty important.
Kind of a focal point.
Probably about the main thing I would say. Okay, what do you think are some of the more important achievements in your life? This is a lot different than the last question. Turning your life over to Jesus isn't really an achievement, but maybe getting your job at Grandpa's, being a major factor in starting up the restaurant, that's an achievement.
I don't know.
Pat?
I can't. I have to pass on that because I
Okay.
can't.
Okay, this is kind of a heavy question. Not everybody will have really an answer for this, but what are your feelings on the national deficit? Does it matter, or should we be concerned, or what?
Oh, definitely. I think we should be concerned, and I think that the nation as a whole needs to tighten their belt and, try to balance the budget and get rid of the national deficit and everything. I don't think it's going to happen, nowhere near in the future, but I really think that we should. The nation should tighten their belt.
Do you think that you, as an individual, is there anything that you can do to help on the national deficit?
No, I don't see that. What can I do? The only thing I can do is support the candidates that are in favor of a balanced budget.
Ah, that's something. That's not nothing. That's definitely something. Okay, this is a pretty major issue, but it's a very sensitive issue with a lot of people too. What are you feeling from abortion?
Well, I'm totally against abortion. I see it as murder. There's no other word for it. It's murder. Whether the baby is born or unborn, it's still yet a baby, and I'm just totally against it.
Okay.
Then we can't hear each other.
Okay, if you see on TV a lot, there's recently been a show on called, what was the name of that show?
On homosexuality?
Yeah. Anyway, this, more and more people are coming out of the closet. How do you feel about this widespread homosexuality?
Well,
10 years ago, it wasn't an issue at all. It was just something that's whispered about and laughed about, but now it's becoming a major issue.
Well, I don't think that it's probably any more rampant now than it was 10 years ago. It's just that, like you say, they're bringing it out of the closet and trying to make it seem all right, but it's not. The Bible calls it an abomination. And he says that a country that puts up with that kind of an abomination won't stand very long. It's a sin against God, and what else can I say about it?
In this movie they showed recently on TV, the parents of these young men, they were shocked at first, but later on in the movie, they showed how the parents come to accept it, and the mother even come to accept the young boy's boyfriend. And it seemed like the movie was more or less promoting it, as though everyone should eventually accept it. Should we come into an acceptance of this if we know there's somebody like this?
No, I don't think that you should ever accept it. The Bible says to hate the sin but love the sinner. I don't think that you should ever accept their sin, where that you say that it's all right, you should, I don't know, I think that you would just have to pray for somebody like that, but as far as saying that's all right, I don't agree with that.
It's obviously a difficult subject that we're really not faced with, since we don't know anybody like this. Let's just hope that we can pray for the person when something like this happens. Okay, moving on down the line here. This is another kind of a deep subject that not everybody really has an opinion on, but what do you feel about the nuclear arms race? This is something that's on the TV a lot.
Yeah, well, I do have an opinion on that. Being the mother of 2 sons myself, I believe in increasing the military budget and always keeping abreast of new military weapons and everything, because I think our nation should be #1 in military achievement and military weapons, because having 2 sons that would be in the service, if we had any kind of a war or anything, I certainly wouldn't want them to go off and fight a war in some dilapidated equipment. If you would go off to be in a submarine, I would want it to be upkeep on it real good, and I would want it to be the best. I wouldn't want you to go off in some old jalopy, something that just because the government had cut spending on the military, that they would give you a defective submarine or something like that to fight a war with. I think it's very important that our military budget always stay abreast of everything. I think it's important to keep a good military budget, and I don't see that we should cut military spending. Cut anywhere else, but not in the military.
This is a very controversial issue because this 1985 year, President Reagan, for his budget, he's cut some social programs. I don't think he's really cut out any, but I think he just cut some of the financing for some of them. And the military budget is receiving a raise. They're getting more of a raise. So for one to say that they believe in a strong military, they side with President Reagan in saying that we should cut some of these social programs. So how do you feel about that, about the social programs being cut?
Well, I think some of them could stand to be cut somewhat. Cut back. I don't think a lot of them should be cut out, but they could stand to be cut back somewhat.
I think this is just what President Reagan feels too.
You just can't have your cake and eat it too, You can't spend a lot of money and have a balanced budget. You have to cut back somewhere, and wherever that you cut back, there's going to be people that don't agree with it. You have to start somewhere, and who's going to say where you should start? I think that should be up to the president. We elected him, that should be up to him.
Okay.
Good.
End it.
Thank you very much, Mom, and have a happy birthday.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, what's your name?
Kelly.
Kelly what?
Lola.
Who's your mommy? You know your mommy's name, don't you?
Judy.
Judy, yeah. And what's Judy's mom's name? Hard question, huh? I bet you can answer that. You know what your grandma's name is? Gra Gra. What's Gra Gra's real name? It's Bonnie, ain't it? Bonnie. Bonnie McAdoo, ain't it? How you doing in school this year, Kelly?
Good.
Good. What's your dolly's name?
Melissa Marie Warlock.
Melissa Marie Warlock? She's a Cabbage Patch dolly, isn't she? She's real pretty. Her hair is just about the same color as yours is.
Yep.
What's your brother's name?
Ryan.
Brian Warlock. What's his middle name? Brian Jean Warlock. You know your middle name? Your middle name's Jean too? Yes, it is. What's your daddy's name? Larry? Larry Warlock. Kelly, do you know what you want to be when you grow up? You don't know yet? Would you like to have some kids just like your doll here? You like to have some little kids when you get older? You're a pretty little girl, you know that? You like to go to church?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you know Jesus? Yeah, you do, don't you?
Go.
Hi, Ma.
Okay, who's your mom?
Halline
Halline Hayes. Okay, what's Helene's mom's name?
Bonnie McInerney.
Connie McAdoo. Okay, what's your name?
Let's see. David.
David Hayes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, David, we have to ask you some of these very basic questions because someday somebody might be looking at this tape who don't even know our family, okay? Our family might be all dead and they'll have to know your name, you know. Who was this little teenager sitting in the seat, you know? Okay, could you give us like a, what we call a character summary, just a short explanation of yourself? Where do you go to school? How old you are?
I go north and
North High School?
yeah.
High school or junior high?
Junior high. I'm 13.
Great.
About it.
What grade are you in?
7.
7th grade. Are you doing very well in school?
No. So far I'm flunking.
What, is it D's and F's or C's and D's or what?
These deaths.
You gotta bring that up. Okay. Tell me right now if you're happy, and if you're not happy, tell me why.
I'm happy.
Any particular reason? Because of my mom's birthday or what?
No.
Just generally happy, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Your grades in school are kind of low. Are you looking to bring them up any? Are you just happy with your grades? You trying to bring them up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except I always forget to bring my books home.
Then teachers like you to do homework, don't they? Do you have a study hall that you can do them in?
Yeah. But I'm always gone in it.
What do you do in study hall?
I go to the library.
Just study and study in the library?
No, I look at magazines.
Okay. Do you have any girlfriends, David?
Yeah.
How many?
One. I
Just
could
one?
have more though.
What's your girlfriend's name?
Tammy.
Tammy. Does she live close by?
Hollywood Heights.
Really? Pretty far away. How do you get to see her?
But I just told her to go to show.
Oh, really? You can see her from
Yeah.
Wednesday? Down in Petite Fort?
Yeah.
Petite Fort in Collinsville, right?
Yeah.
David, have you ever thought about joining the service anytime?
No.
You mean I couldn't recruit you to join the Navy?
Probably not.
Probably not, eh?
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for the future?
Not really.
Do you think you might like to work in tractor trailers or work in Kentucky Fried Chicken or something like that?
I don't know.
Have you ever thought about it, eh?
Huh?
Let me go back to my first page here and some new questions here. What do you think is the most significant thing that's happened in your life? The most important thing?
I don't know.
Anything special?
Not really.
Nothing special. What's the last movie you seen, David?
Johnny Danger's Leap.
What's that rated? That's rated R, ain't it?
PG.
PG? Well, that's not a dirty movie.
So we went to one after that, but I forget the name of it, and that one was dirty.
What was it rated?
Alright.
Well, that could be so-so. What was the name of that movie?
I don't remember.
Where'd you go see it at?
T.
Petite?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't show bad movies here.
Yeah. And I went out in the lobby after this here one movie was over. Some other kids went and seen the other movie.
Really?
It was over, yeah. And he said it was filthy.
That could be. What's the last good movie you seen on TV?
I don't know.
You don't remember? You don't? Do you watch very much TV?
Every once in a while I watch it.
You said before you had some guns. What kind of gun do you have?
20 gauge.
20 gauge? Do you go hunting very often?
No.
What do you do with your gun?
Shoot stuff.
Around? What do you shoot? You don't shoot birds or anything, do you?
Yeah, whatever I see, I'll shoot it.
You go down by the canal and shoot down there?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your name, young man?
Johnny Hayes.
Johnny Hayes.
Yep.
And your mama is?
Halline Hayes.
And who's your grandma?
Gra Gra.
Okay. Gra Gra. Do you know her real name?
Yep.
What's your real name?
Bonnie McAdoo.
You know her middle name?
Sure don't.
You don't know her middle name?
No.
Aha, we get to learn something today. Her middle name is Inez, isn't it? Well, you get to learn something about your family. We've been talking about this family, though. Tell me something about your other family. You do have 2 grandmas and 2 grandpas. Or did have.
The other family ain't that great.
Well, they're still family, you know. Whatever your feelings about them, they're still your family.
Yeah, but my Uncle Dean, he's been better now.
He's doing better, ain't he?
Yeah, he's cool, man.
Tell me about your uncles. Uncle Dean is your uncle, right?
Yeah, he's a quack sometimes.
Tell me about your other uncles. You not seen.
Well, Rick, he not that great.
Where's he working then?
Who, Rick?
Yeah.
He's driving a diesel. Mm-hmm.
For what company?
I don't know. Some guy. I don't know his name. And my Uncle Timmy, he's working with my dad. And in
Oh, where?
Illinois trailer. You used to work there, didn't you?
Yeah, but they don't know that.
Well, that's not supposed to be there, okay? And oh.
You got more uncles than that. You got a bunch of uncles.
How many more uncles? Alright, Dean, Rick, Tim. And Bobby, he is no good. He just owes us some money, man.
And you're not looking to overthrow the government.
What?
Okay, how you doing in school, John?
Well, I'm bringing my 3rd hour grade up.
Really? What kind of grades are you making in journal?
My first hour I'm making an F because I never do nothing.
Well, what is your first star? What course is that?
Science.
Science?
Yeah.
Why is science so hard?
I just never did.
I mean, what are you studying in science that you don't understand?
I understand everything about it. I'm just lazy.
You don't study, huh?
What grade?
Nope. And in 2nd hour I got math and I'm doing pretty good in that. You know,
What do you study? Algebra or just
Practical
straight
math.
math? Practical math? Okay.
In
What kind of grades you making in practical math?
a C or a D.
Okay. Tell me some of your other courses.
In my 3rd hour class, I made a B last time and I dropped it to a D. And so I'm bringing it back up now. And then, well, my 4th hour class, that's the shop. And my teacher, he's
What's wrong with him?
He's no good.
He don't teach very well?
Nope. In my last 4th hour class, for the other semester, I got punched by the teacher in the mouth.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you say to him?
Huh?
You didn't say anything back to him?
He come up to me and put his hand on my shoulder like this and squeezing my nerve back there or whatever. And so I slapped his hand off me, and then he grabbed his chair and rammed it into my knees, and then he started punching me in the mouth with his fingers. So.
Well, this might seem kind of small to you, but they're trying to get legislation in right now to where teachers are going to have to be tested to find out if they're a good teacher. They're going to continue teaching, but if they're bad teachers, they're going to get them out. They're going to fire them.
That's cool.
These are good teachers that are doing it.
Yeah. There's a lot of no good teachers up there.
There's a lot of teachers who don't really know how to do the basic things, you know, like the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic, you know, and they're going to try to weed out the bad ones. You have any girlfriends, John?
No, not at the moment.
Oh, I'm surprised. You just break up with one or something?
A couple months ago.
Really? What was her name?
Wendy.
Wendy?
Mm-hmm.
She just kind of blew away, huh? Little levity. John, could I convince you to join the Navy?
Nope.
Any kind of military?
Maybe.
Why would you want to join the military? Or why do you think that you shouldn't?
I don't know.
I guess you really just haven't thought about it very much, eh?
Haven't thought about it.
Do you think it's important to defend your country or to support it like that?
Yeah, sorta.
What if have you seen the movie Red Dawn?
No.
Well, anyway, Red Dawn is about the Russians paratrooping right in the middle of Kansas or whatever and taking over a town. What would you do in a situation like that if they dropped down into the state park?
I just have to fight them.
Well, see, that's the same thing. Instead of, well, some people are in the military all the time, you know, and supporting like that. Okay, what's the last movie you did see, though?
Blame It on Real.
Was it a pretty good one?
Yeah, it was. It was good.
Tell me a little bit about it. So tell me a little bit about the movie.
Okay. Well, there's these two guys, and one's still married, and this other guy divorced his wife, and then they both have a daughter each. And so they went to Rio, for a vacation, and then one guy left his wife behind, and then so that other guy's daughter, like this one guy, and so they did a bunch of stuff, and then the guy's daughter knew he was messing with this other girl, and then so she called her mom, and her mom came up there, and so they found out that her mom was having an affair with the other guy, and then the daughter was having an affair with the it's confusing.
You got me lost here. Tell me, John, what do you think you'd like to be when you get a little older?
What my dad's doing.
You think you'd like to be a mechanic?
Yep.
Work on tractor trailers and diesels?
Mhm.
You think you could really do that?
Mhm.
Pretty challenging, ain't it?
Mhm.
You don't think it's that hard?
It's easy.
You don't think you mind getting out there in the cold weather and taking the starter off an engine? Takes a lot of character to be able to do that.
Mhm.
Do you work out there with him very much now?
Not now.
Because it's pretty cold, eh?
Mhm. But I work with Tina's husband too.
What's that doing?
He's just pulling with his car all the time.
So you're learning the mechanics right now, right? What's your name?
Tina.
Tina what?
Boothman.
Do you ever get confused anymore between Boothman and Hayes?
No.
You got Boothman down pat now,
I
right?
wanted to be a Boothman for a long time.
What's your baby's name?
Michael.
Michael
Anthony.
Anthony Boothman. How old is he now?
He'll be 12 weeks Wednesday.
He's getting pretty big.
Yep. Weighs 14 pounds.
14 pounds. That's pretty good. I like married life so far.
It's okay.
Finally getting to see something of your husband, huh?
Not me.
How you like being a mommy?
Love it.
So you're pretty happy with your life right now, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that if you could have gone back and changed anything, would you, like if you start back maybe at 6 and start living your life again, would you change anything?
Well, I wouldn't have let them join the Navy.
Really? Having home more often, eh?
Yep. Well, I could have made a better life working with his dad instead of the Navy.
Think so?
Yeah.
Is his dad working very much now?
Well, not during the winter, but he's working starting Monday. They can only work inside now
For bricking? Playing brick?
because it's too cold.
Yeah, I can imagine. Do you think that they would save enough money up during the summer to last through the winter?
Oh yeah, it's 15 an hour.
That's pretty good money.
Yeah.
Click it. He's a cute baby. He's a good blue eye. When was Michael born?
November 21st.
November 21st. And when was you born?
January 10th.
I've been thinking about that one for a while. Eh?
Yep.
January 10th of what year?
67.
67. So young lady. Okay, let me ask you some of our questions here. What do you think your short-range goals are between next 6 months and next year?
6 months of next year?
Between, 6 months from now and a year from now? Get any more kids in next year?
No.
Just
no
one?
more. No, maybe in two to 3 years. Hopefully.
That's good. You
No
can space them
sooner.
out some.
Yeah. Hopefully no sooner.
Are you looking to move anytime soon? Or are you happy at your trailer?
We're not going to move until we get the house built.
Where are we looking to move to? Any special place like Fairview Heights?
Maybe in the country in Collinsville or
That'd be nice.
Troy. No farther than that.
Maybe get yourself a lot of land.
Yeah. Have a house built like a farm. So you can raise some animals.
Those sound like you got some long-range goals planned too. How big of a house do you want?
At least 4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms. You plan on filling them up with some kids, eh?
No,
One for
only
me.
2 kids.
I mean, one for you and Tim, and we can do it the rest of the 3 bedrooms.
Well, a kid each to get the room, and then
Now, there's
have
1 bedroom left. What are you gonna do with that one?
whoever wants to come stay with me to have a
Oh,
bedroom.
that's good. Up the guest bedroom.
Except for Tony.
Okay, let me ask you. What do you think is the most significant thing that happened in your life? The most important thing up until now?
The most important thing is getting married and having Michael.
Really?
Yep.
That's 2 important things.
Oh,
Okay, I guess those tie, huh?
yeah.
Okay. Okay, here's a big issue right here. What are your feelings on abortion?
I'm against it totally.
Totally?
Yep.
Okay. We'll talk about this. If your next baby, we'll say you're pregnant and you're about 7 to 8 months pregnant, and they do a test on you, and they're able to tell you that your baby's going to turn out to be mentally retarded when you have it, are you still going to want to have the baby?
Well, if that's what God means for me, then I'll have it. I mean, He don't mean for you to go kill a baby.
No.
They're defenseless.
And he don't mean for your baby to be retarded either. But what if they know that it is?
Yeah.
Are you still going to have the baby?
Well, if it's going to be retarded, then God will take care of itself if He don't want me to have it. But if He wants me to have it, then I'll go ahead and have it because I won't kill my baby.
Yeah.
And people that go to find out that the baby would kill them to have it, that's kind of a different thing, but God will take care of that too. If it's going to kill you to have the baby, He'll take care of that too.
Yeah. There's an issue raised recently about what they call a baby doe. And what that was about was this baby was born mentally retarded. And the parents didn't want the baby. Can you imagine that somebody not wanting the baby? Even though it's mentally retarded. When the baby's this little, you really can't tell if it's mentally retarded or not, you know. But a doctor can tell. But in this baby doe issue, the parents wanted the baby to just be left alone and wanted to starve to death. And the president intervened and had them to feed the baby. But that's what the issue is all about. And abortion is becoming much more widespread now, to where 7, 8, 9 months, it doesn't matter anymore when they have it. And you're totally against it. That's very good. Now, any question I ask you, your answer is not right or wrong. It's just your opinion, okay? So don't feel like you're restricted to whatever answer you give. Okay, this is kind of a question that you may or may not have an opinion on. What do you feel about the national deficit?
I really haven't thought about that.
You haven't thought about that much? Okay. You haven't thought about it very much? You don't really have an opinion on too much now? Okay, everybody seems like you're coming out of the closet now. Do you think they should stay in the closet or what?
Elaborate on that, Jim, about,
Yeah.
you know,
Homosexuality is becoming much more widespread now. The person who robbed Bonanza, robbed Lylia at Bonanza was homosexual. Yeah. That's about as close to contact as we've come with that. But who knows? Somebody who you know might pop up to be that way. How are you going to handle that?
Well,
Are you going to kick them out of your house? Or?
no. It's their choice, and you just can't hate a person because of what they choose. It might be wrong, but you can't hate them. They're just still your family or whatever.
Yeah.
You just can't hate them. And
What can you do for them? Is there anything? What can you say to a person like that? You're shocked, but what can you say?
just that you still care for them and everything, but you just don't want none of the diseases or anything near you that comes from that.
Yeah.
AIDS or whatever.
Herpes and
Yeah.
stuff like that?
And just can't tell people how to run their lives.
What if they wanted to bring their friend over to your house?
No,
Couldn't have that?
no, I don't think that's right. Bring your friend, whoever, your lover or whatever, to your family's house, and then no. I don't think it's right.
So you,
If you're gonna do it, then just do it behind closed doors where nobody knows about it.
yeah. In other words, you stay in the closet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're not gonna get out in public and do it like cats and dogs or whatever.
Okay, my next question It involves you, but indirectly. What do you think about the nuclear arms race? Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah. Well, everybody has the right to their own opinion and everything. But
That's right.
you have to defend yourself. But myself, I don't want to have to die that way. But if you have to defend yourself from that, then you have to. But I really don't like it, but there's nothing you can do.
Well, it don't really affect you too much more now that Tim isn't in the service anymore. But
He's like an inactive reserves.
really, you don't get paid for it, does it? Okay. The main issue is that Russia gets more missiles and we build up more missiles. The idea is how many times can we destroy the world? But that doesn't really affect you right now. But does it scare you a little bit to think that we could be bombed at any time? And
Yeah.
just a little bit? Your baby would go too.
Yeah. It's like I said, if it was coming and I knew it, then I'd just go wait for it to hit me because why stay around and suffer the after effects?
I seen a movie on that about
I'd rather go where I want to be happy at. So.
Yeah.
Day after.
and the movie was a movie about after the nuclear war. And Australia is neutral. Australia doesn't have any missiles and they don't expect to be hit by any. But and in the movie they weren't hit by any. But Russia and the United States and every other country with missiles was gone. And so all the missiles were fired, and everybody knew that the radiation was headed towards them, you know. Once you fire off a nuclear missile, the radiation spreads until it eventually will cover the entire Earth. But in this missile, in this movie, it dealt with a family, and this young Navy officer knew that the radiation was coming. So he's talked to the people up above him, you know, the people who he is in authority of, and he managed to get some pills. And he brought the pills home to his wife, and he said that if you know the radiation is coming, if you know that you hear it on the news that it's coming, go ahead and take this pill and give it to our baby too, and the pill would kill him. Do you think that a person should, if they know that like maybe Cottlesville has been hit, and it's just going to be seconds before that you receive the radiation, you think you should go ahead and kill yourself or just wait?
Well, that's really not natural to kill yourself. But then to get hit by the bombs and everything's not really natural either.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. I just go outside and wait for it to hit. I wouldn't take nothing to kill myself in case it really didn't happen. And why kill yourself for that? It might be a prank.
That's true. So it could just cause a lot of panic, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that subject can go on for a long time. Okay, I've asked you this here question. Okay, this is a very important question that a lot of preachers ask people, but everybody should address this question in their own lives, whether by themselves or in front of the camera or whatever. But if you would die tonight, where do you think your soul would go?
To heaven.
To heaven? Okay, again, this is not a right or wrong question, it's just your opinion. Why do you think you would go to heaven?
Well, because I accepted God and everything, and just trying to do what I think's right. And I don't know anything else.
That's a good opinion. Your baby looks like he's getting a little bit sleepy there.
Yeah.
All right, would you term yourself as being generally happy right now?
Mm-hmm.
Any particular reason? Just because things are going well?
Yeah, that's all.
Put it on pause, Ryan. Brian, you say? What's your last name? What's your mommy's name? Judy what? Kelly told me that your middle name is Jean, and she said her middle name is Jean. What's your real middle name? Brian Dwayne. Okay. What's your daddy's name? Larry. Okay, do you know your grandma's name?
Grandma.
Okay. No, you got two grandmas. What's her names? Gra Gra? What's Gra Gra's real name?
You may not know.
You know your grandma's real name, don't you?
He knows it.
You know, you got two grandmas. You know one of them's first name? Rose? That's a pretty name. What's Rose's last name? Kelly, you're going to have to move. Barney?
No.
You don't know? Okay. What's, you know Grandma McAfee's first name? Yeah, you're going to have to talk up a little bit, Brian, because we can't hear you too well, okay? How you doing in school? You know what kind of grade you're making? I can't hear you. Tell me. What kind of grade you making? A's and B's? Okay, I'll ask you mommy about that. You were never lying to me, boy. You got any girlfriends, Brian? You don't have any girlfriends? I thought little girls would be jumping all over you. You don't have little girls chase you? You run from them? David, put it on pause, okay? Tell me about your teeth, Brian. How do your teeth get knocked out? You're running to your sister's head at school. Was both of you running, or did you just run into her? Now was this the second set you lost or the first set? How'd you lose your first set? They just kind of fell out? Oh yeah? You know, when I was your age, I had a real loose tooth, and my dad took me into another room and he took some pliers and yanked my tooth out. He played dentist himself. Do you expect these teeth to come back? What about the other side? You think it will, though? You think maybe if you pray about it, it'll come back? You don't think so? I think Jesus would do that for you if you asked him to. Do you like to go to church? What do you do in church? You learn? What do you learn about? Huh? I can't hear you. Jesus? Do you know Jesus? What do you know about him? You don't know anything about him? No? Go. Brian, what do you think you'd like to be when you grow up? A mechanic. Do you have any tools at home? Well, to be a mechanic, you got to get some tools. You got one tool? What kind of tools you got? You got a screwdriver? To be a mechanic, you work on all kinds of different things. What things you want to work on? Cars or trucks? Diesels? Diesels are pretty big. You're kind of little for that. Do you think when you get bigger that you'll be able to work on diesels? Who do you work with? Where do you want to work on diesels at? With your Uncle Bill, maybe? Yeah. Put it on.
Okay, I act like I'm Baba Wawa, and I'll just ask you some questions, and you just, okay. I know your name, but just for the sake of the video, tell me what your name is. Judy. Judy, just Judy. If you signed your...
No, that ain't what I put on there. That ain't supposed to.
What would you, if you had to sign an official paper, what would you put on there?
Judith is my name.
What? That's it?
No, Judith Forline.
Well,
Do you want me to say my middle name, Judith?
yeah, what is your middle name?
Lynn. Judith Lynn Orlock.
Yeah, that's it. I must have liked that. I named Cheryle Lynn. Okay, Jimmy's got some questions written down here now. He's got number one, what are your short-range goals? Do you like have any what are your plans for the immediate future, you know? Do you have any big plans, or you just
Not really, we take one day at a time.
one day at a time? Yeah, that's what most people do. What's the most significant thing that's ever happened in your life? Just, you know, like when you think back on your life, what's the big thing that you really remember?
I don't know.
Larry would expect you to say it's when you got married to him.
I guess he was expecting me to say that.
Well, is that it?
But when I had the kids, really mine, I don't care about
Yeah,
him.
but you couldn't have had them without him. So, at the beginning, the big point in your life is when you got married, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Okay, we just want to find out a little bit about how you feel on some really controversial things that are going on in the world right now. How do you feel about abortion?
I don't think it's right. It's not right to
Why
kill
not? Don't
anybody.
you think a woman has, don't you think she ought to be able to do with her own body what she wants to?
I know, but it's a person. So it's just like going. It's the same thing as if they go in these old folks' homes and kill these old people. To me, that's the same thing.
Because they're useless, huh?
Yeah, because
Or
it's the same
because they're
thing.
an inconvenience. And
Well, it'd
nobody
be the
don't
same
wanna be
thing.
bothered with
It'd
them,
be
huh?
the same thing as going and killing them.
Okay, you don't think, what if you was pregnant with a baby and the doctor told you that the baby's going to be deformed when it's born? Then would you want to have it aborted, or would you want to go ahead and have the baby, or what? How would you feel about that?
I don't know. If it came up, I probably would. I don't know.
You think you would, if the doctor told you that the baby was going to be deformed, you think that, and he said, I think that we should...
I don't know. I'd have to think about it for a while before I came to that decision.
But you think there's a possibility that you might agree with the doctor and say, well, I guess we should go ahead and abort the baby?
You should get more of an opinion, just one though.
Okay.
Because I've heard of that, and it wasn't true. When I went to somebody else, it wasn't true.
Well, that's a possibility. Okay, here's a question for you. How do you feel on, what do you think about the president's military budget? The president right now is wanting to push through Congress a bill that would increase the military budget. All right, this could be pertinent to all of us. If any of you, if we should happen to go to war or anything, which is always a possibility that we could, our country could go to war. The history proves that we have not been very long without going to war. And, so do you think it's right that the president should take a lot of the taxpayers' money and spend it on an increased military budget, or do you think that he should cut the military spending and use that money for maybe programs for the poor in this country?
I don't know. There's so many people without a home that I don't know if it's right or not. Because you never know. You hear it every day. There's people without even a home to live in. So it's hard to say that. I know we might need all that stuff but I don't know. It's if you got a heart, you just want reach out to people if you see them anything but a house to live in.
Well, then you think that it would be the money would be more wiser spent to spend it on the social programs at home, helping the poor, than it would be to spend the money on increased military.
I don't know, but yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I really know, but
well, do you have any long-range plans in your life? I mean, what do you plan to do the rest of your life? I mean, you just want to, do you have any plans at all? Have you made any plans?
no,
No?
not really.
No short range or no long range either, huh?
No.
Well, do you have any plans like maybe saving for the kids to go to college, or do you want them to go to college, or?
Right now we ain't got nothing to do that with.
Well, do you
But
have-
I'd like to, but something might happen that we couldn't. Because right now But you never know in the next few years what might happen. But my view, my view is that we ain't got much time in this world to stay in this world anyway. I don't know, it's just my opinion. But it's coming closer to the end. That's just my opinion.
So then you do feel like that the end, we're living in the last days and these are the end times.
That's right.
And everything. And well, why do you feel like that? Do you have any reason why you feel like that?
Mm-hmm. Because it says that you will never know the days will get seasons will get closer together, and then there'll be lots of wars and all kinds, and there won't be nothing to eat, and a lot of times it's just coming towards that.
Yeah, there's a lot of famine.
It's just coming towards that.
There's a lot of famine in the world right now. There's a big famine in Africa right now, and not only in Africa, but in our country too. There's a lot of people that are hungry and homeless, and
it's just coming closer because you can see it coming.
So you don't think that there would ever be anybody that would have an answer to all the problems in the world, any human being that
Not really.
That could, with all the famine that's in the world and all the hungry, starving people and all the wars and the revolutions and things like that that are going on in the world.
That's going to happen anyway.
You don't think that there's maybe the world could elect like a world president that would have an answer to all those kind of problems that could bring peace to the world? You don't think nothing like that could ever happen, huh?
No, because when the end of time comes, it says there'll be wars and more wars, and it's going to end. The whole world's just going to end.
Do you think the world will end in a nuclear war, where that there'll be a?
I don't know, but I hope not.
So you think that there's no answer to all the
But
problems?
nobody knows when. Because nobody can't tell you. Some people can get up there and say when or what day, but they don't really know. Nobody does know.
Well, so then you think the answer to all the world's problems is not in the world. You think the only answer to all the world's problems would be if the world just end, like kind of wipe it all out and start all over again, huh?
It would be nice, but you can't do that. You can't just wipe it out and start all over. That's just it won't happen like that.
Well,
It'll just end completely.
well, do you believe that people that are dead, that they're going to come back to life again? Do you believe in the resurrection?
Yeah, they will come back to life. Only if they believe in God and they have been saved and stuff. The ones that aren't, they won't come back.
You don't think they'll?
They won't come back.
They won't have a part in the resurrection time?
Nope. Yeah, I don't think so.
What do you think will happen to people that haven't been saved and that have died? What do you think will happen to them?
They burn in hell.
Well, the Bible says that they'll be resurrected to face the judgment, and at that time, then they'll be judged. You know, and that's the time that Jesus will separate the sheep from the goats, and their fate will be decided. Do you think they'll be resurrected too, then, to face the judgment?
They could be. They could not be.
You think maybe that it's possible they would just die and then cease to exist and not have a part in the resurrection?
No, they could just burn them instead. You know, I mean, they could just burn in hell instead
You
of
think
even
maybe
coming
if
back.
maybe if they died, they would just, when they died, just go straight to hell, huh?
Instead of even coming back, they might. I don't know. People should wake up. They could think about that a little bit and wake up a little bit and think about it. What could happen to them?
Then you think it's pretty important that you should change your life right now and
That's right.
not wait until wait until you die,
Or
time
wait
of
till
your death or
or wait till
something
you're
like
at the
that.
hospital and you're on your deathbed, and that's not the right time to do it, really. But if it comes to that, that's the only way you can. I mean, it's better to be saved than not to be, though. If it comes to that, that's the only way. You better do it.
Well, what do you think about, the Bible says that you must be born again before that you can go to heaven. What do you think would happen to a little baby that died? What do you think would happen to them before they was even grown up or anything?
I mean, before they could get saved or anything.
Yeah.
I don't think anything bad would happen to them because they don't even have a mind to say whether they've been saved or not. I don't know. I really don't know about that. But it don't seem like nothing bad would happen to them.
Well, you think if a little baby dies, then he would just go straight to heaven?
I don't know, but it just don't seem like they go to hell. Because they don't, you know, I mean, they're not big enough to make just decisions on their own.
So, okay, then how do you feel about being baptized? Do you think it's important, you know, for Christians to be baptized?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's better, you know. But you should be saved first, though.
Well, of course. I mean,
But some people don't believe in that, though. Some people don't believe like that, though. Some people just believe in just getting baptized and that's it. There she goes. You know, but if they do that, that ain't right.
Then just being baptized is no guarantee or no insurance.
There's not no guarantee that you're going to go to heaven. No, it's not no guarantee. A lot of people think that, though. That if they get baptized, that's a guarantee.
But after you get saved and everything and you've committed your life to Christ, do you think it's important to take the next step and be baptized?
Yeah, but you have to be committed to living the right way first, though. I mean, if you're not going to, then you might as well not get baptized.
Well, what if somebody, you know, what if they honestly believed that they was going to live the right way as to the best of their ability and everything, and they went ahead and got baptized, and then they backslid and, you know, quit going to church and didn't try to follow after biblical principles anymore? What do you think would happen to them? Somebody like that?
I don't know, but you're not supposed to judge anybody, really, though. It's up to them. If they don't want to, I mean, it's between them and God, though, if they don't want to live like that. Because they're the only ones that are going to have to answer to it, nobody else.
But do you feel like once saved, always saved? Some denominations feel that way, that once saved, you're always saved, that if you have committed your life to Christ and been baptized one time, and then say that you go back out into the world and... well, okay, I got one more question for you. How do you feel about capital punishment? Do you feel like somebody that has murdered somebody else, do you think that they ought to, you know, go to the gas chamber or the electric chair, or
yeah,
do you believe in capital punishment?
Oh yeah, I believe in it, because if they should have thought about that before they done it.
What if they murdered somebody in a passionate fit of rage? You know, they was having an argument with somebody and they just felt like they got pushed too far, and you know, they kind of lost control and they murdered somebody. Do you think that they should be sent to the gas chamber or the electric chair?
Sure, because they should have thought about what they did before they did it.
So you believe in capital punishment. Okay, Judy Warlock, I think. Okay, hi Cheryl, how are you doing today?
Well, just fine so far.
Just fine so far. Okay, I've got a few questions I want to ask you and find out how you feel about certain things, you know. Do you have any, we're going to ask you first about your short-range plans. You know, that's pretty general, but do you have, what are your plans for, say, tomorrow or the next day? You know, what do you want to do?
Wake up for well, you short range. I don't know. Get a place, you know, maybe a house or a car, you know.
Is there any chance of this happening? I mean,
Hey, all things are possible.
All right. One of the questions I want to ask you is about, well, like, what's the most significant thing, the most memorable thing that's happened in your life so far? I know you haven't lived that many years yet. You're only 24 years old.
Well, most memorable. You mean like operations? Well, we won't talk about that.
Oh, you want to tell them about your own?
No, no.
Oh, come on. Maybe you can show us your scar.
No,
Show us your scar.
I got.
I ain't no flasher.
Yeah, I was used
Okay,
to
now
it.
just think back on your 24 years. What is the most memorable thing? You know,
Most memorable.
when you look back, what's the thing that you think, you know, this is the highlight of my life?
Well, it's pretty stressful being born. I remember that.
Yeah, it was kind of hard. I mean, like you took forever, 2 days.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to make my debut yet.
Yeah, you were shy. You didn't say no, no. Oh wow. But past that, past the delivery room.
Yeah, Pat.
Yeah, right past the
Pat.
delivery
I got 38
room.
quarter hours, and I was late one day.
Oh, I don't know. Who knows?
You don't, okay,
I don't
well,
remember that
You
memo.
don't see them drums that we got
go
there?
right on past that exciting part there. What are your feelings on abortion? Do you believe in abortion? Huh?
Yes, believe it's wrong.
You believe it's wrong?
That's taking a life, and we don't have any right to take a life. And, you know, you can adopt it out, but
Play Wipeout?
I don't, you know, I
Play
mean,
Wipeout?
the person that's having an abortion, if they were aborted, they wouldn't be here to, you know, no, it's wrong.
You think it's wrong?
I mean, the
huh?
kids,
You mean,
you know-
how about in certain circumstances? Do you think there might be extenuating circumstances where that it could be right?
Well, the Bible says thou shalt not kill. He didn't say unless or except or, you know.
Well, what if you was pregnant and the doctor told you that,
Supposed to call
you
this
know,
guy
the
down.
baby is going to be deformed? I've got this bad news for you, but the baby is going to be deformed, and I really think the best thing for you to do would be to have an abortion right now.
I say God can heal it.
Job with always talking.
God, all things are possible, right?
So then even if the doctor told you was going to have a deformed baby, you would think you had to have it?
That's out there.
Yep.
GM plant in Winsville. Well, I got a hunch that might be.
Okay.
Said he got something else lined up for me.
What do you think about this thing that's kind of running rampant in our country right now? These homosexual people coming out of the closet and.
Because it wasn't big enough, I guess.
No, what if you had a friend? What if you had a friend that you liked a whole lot? You know, you really liked him and everything, and you thought, oh wow, I like this guy a lot. You know, then what if you found out that he was a homosexual? How would you feel about him?
Excuse me.
Then? How would you feel about him then? You know, would you just want to say, I don't want to be your friend no
We're not supposed to
more?
judge, but I sort of just maybe forget his number or say
You just would kind of wipe him out as your friend?
well, I don't know. We're not, you know, I wouldn't want to, you know, I think it's wrong.
No, we don't know.
Is she
I
on
wouldn't
TV
hang
right
on
now?
to that. I'd say, you're all right, but
She's on Channel 4.
Well, okay. What else is there to say about that? Okay, here's a question. If you had your life to live over again, would you change anything, or would you want to live it just the way that you have lived it?
of course we'd always like to change things, but
You'd kind of like to change it to maybe being born into a rich family?
not necessarily, because if you're rich, then there's problems with being rich. You know, I mean, there's a lot of happiness with. Sounds dumb, but there's happiness with not being rich because, you know, if you're rich, then you got everything. You know, there's nothing to achieve. You know, after you get a car, you know, you had to work and save, and I got a car. You know, and you know, if you're rich, you say, who cares? You know, I got 3 or 4 Rolls Royces in the driveway. You know, what you do?
Do you ever wish you could go back and maybe finish school? Would you like to finish school?
Yes, I think that would have been better if I'd have done that.
Why do you think you would have a better opportunity to get a job if you had finished school?
Probably.
Put yours on.
Okay. Now, tell me how you feel about this. Do you feel it's important for a Christian to be baptized?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's in the Bible, so we should do everything God says. So. Now, just as a, not a formality, but, well, we should do everything God says, and it's, you know, it just goes along with being, you know, being a Christian, stuff like that.
So you
know,
believe
don't have
it's
to do it
important,
wrong.
it's
Yeah.
important for a Christian to
Oh,
be
yeah.
baptized? Okay. Here's a question that's down here that you might like to answer. If you was to die tonight, do you know where that, what would happen to you? If you, on the way home, if you got killed in a car wreck or
I
something?
would like to think that I'd go More go to heaven.
Do you know that for sure, or do you just like to think that?
Well, I don't know if anything's for sure, but I like to believe I would, you know. I mean, don't we go through enough hell here on earth, you know, a sample of it, you know, it's not real hell, but...
But then you're not really, you're saying you're not positive that you know where you would go.
Well, I haven't seen the test results or anything. I'd like to think I would. I mean, you know, I feel like God talks to me and everything. But, yeah, I guess we'll know when we get there. One way or the other.
Well, would you like to get a better job?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of job do you think?
More
you'd like to
money.
have? Just a job that pays more money, huh?
Well, I like to enjoy the job so you don't dread going. But
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get a job cleaning sewers or nothing that pays a lot of money. You wouldn't want a job like that,
that we
huh?
got, long time ago, my dad got them.
You want a job that you enjoy plus as well as being paid good for.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of job, do you have any idea what kind of job that would be? Do you have any preference? Say you could take your choice of jobs out in the job market. Do you have any idea of what you would go for?
maybe interior design or...
Do you have any talent for interior design?
I didn't say that. You know, you never know though. Or working with deaf people, or maybe...
What?
We had them in the
You, for instance. What would you do with deaf people?
Say, did you hear me?
Long ways to go.
Yeah, I mean, it might even, you know, stranger things to happen. I might own a hotel, you know, get to know the ins and outs.
How would you like to maybe own a boarding house, run a boarding house or something like that, you know, where people, you provided their meals and they just rented out sleeping rooms? You don't think you'd like that?
No, I like an inn, you know, like, you know,
Where they
the
just come and
old-fashioned
go,
inns.
huh?
You know, them country inns, you know, something like that, you know.
Well, sort of like where
Cute
people
little
just
homey-
stay for one night and leave, huh? Come and go.
Well, hopefully they would, you know, like have some land and might even have horses on it, and you know, there'd be something like that. And
Oh, are
something
you
to
talking
do than
like
just
maybe a
check in and
lodge? Something like that?
Yeah,
like
something like that.
A vacation spot or something like that?
check- Something like that.
Something like
Hey, yeah.
Well, say that you would win $6 million in the lottery or something like that, is that what you think that's what you would do with the money? Did you ever think about what you
In
would
Florida.
do? Did you ever think about if you would win a big sum of money like that, what would you do with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably want to do something like that or travel. Travel's always good.
Where do you think you'd like to travel to?
Florida, Jamaica, Hawaii, you know, wherever the money takes.
Would you want to go by yourself, or
Nah.
who would you like to travel with you?
Well, seems like we have a lot of volunteers.
No, is there anybody that you'd like to travel with you that you would get along with, you know, that you would like to share that kind of thing with?
I don't know.
I volunteer to go if you win $6 million.
We're at the...
Okay, so we've done established that if you win $6 million in the lottery or something like that, that's what you want to do is travel.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, I think that about ends our interview with you, Cheryl. It's been nice meeting you.
The movie star.
Oh, thanks a lot, Vicki. A Valentine for my birthday. Candy, just what I need. All right. Okay, I'm going to read this card. This is really neat.
Tell them to wait a minute.
Oh, where did you get it? Here's looking at you, kid.
This is not an auto. This is not an auto.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, thanks a lot, Vicki. I really, that's neat. I know where you got that from. Here's looking at you, kid. Okay, now.
You went through the trick.
Sit down. Oh. Where's this from, Kelly?
We're going to interview and say...
From your brother. Oh, wow, my favorite kind of cologne, John, too. It really is, too. Well, I was looking at this yesterday. Oh, thank you. That's nice. I like that.
From me and Kelly.
From you and Kelly? Oh, thank you. Oh, that's a pretty card. I like that. It's from Larry and Judy. Thanks a lot. That's really pretty. And another card. All right.
That's from me and Kelly.
From you and Kelly? All right. And who wrote this?
Kelly, by the way.
Did you write that? Boy, you write good, Brian. Oh, thank you. Right, that's a pretty card.
That's from you.
That's from you? Yeah, I read it. Come here, give me a kiss. Mwah. Thanks a lot. Come here, Kelly, give me a kiss. Thank you. Thank you. That's from Lylia and Jim. That's a jewel box with a mirror. Thank you. I really like this cologne. It smells good. Thanks a lot, guys. Ooh, that's a pretty card. Isn't that pretty? Wow. That is really pretty. I like that too. It wouldn't do to overlook the chance your birthday brings to bring you all the brightest and the most delightful things, for you deserve the nicest joy this world could ever send, to make your life the very best you'd ever hope to spend. Happy birthday from Mom. Oh, that's pretty. Wish for all the happiness a perfect birthday brings, for a mother who sincerely deserves life's nicest things. Isn't that sweet? That's a pretty card.
That's from April. That's from you.
That's from Cheryle. That's from Cheryle. Isn't that pretty? Thanks a lot, Cheryle. That's pretty. Thank you very much. That's really pretty. I'm going to have to hang that up in my room so I can see it all the time.
It's like good joke.
Yeah, that's pretty. You guys don't talk?
No?
Well,
I didn't know where it was at.
all right. We're ready to start this interview of you, young lady. What's your name anyway?
Well, my name is Lylia and also.
I know, but I didn't know that. Yeah, how did you get that name? How did I start?
Go, it's on.
Go.
And I'm 21 years old. And yeah, I just turned 21. My birthday was January 19th.
Pretty close to mine.
Yeah.
You're 21. Okay. Got a few questions here for you. And since you're responsible for these questions, I want to see how you answer them. Okay, what are your short-range goals?
Oh, let's see, short-range goals, in 1 year, in the spring of 1986, oh, thank God, I will have my degree in teaching. Long 4-year plan goal, and I plan to teach, I'll have a teaching degree for kindergarten through 8th grade, and I never plan to do homework again. And short range goal is within the next 4 months to find a house or to move into the trailer that you're going to put over on the other lot, to get a bigger space, bigger apartment, because ours is growing very small.
About to outgrow it, huh? Okay, that sounds like some pretty good long-range goals. Now, okay, here's another good question for you. What's the most significant thing that's ever happened in your life?
Most significant, I'd say, is when I was 13 and I got saved. But then later on in my life, I'd say when I received the baptism of the Holy Spirit, because that's when I kind of rededicated my life back to God, when I was around 17 or so, and I started really thinking about Him every day, and He really became personal to me.
Okay. Now, what do you feel like is the most important achievement in your life so far? And that's
Well, an important achievement, I feel, is that, well, first of all, I graduated from high school, and then I went to college, because no one in my family has ever went to college before. And I had a lot of people tell me that I'd probably just go to college for a year and then drop out. But so far, you know, I've fooled everyone, and they're really proud of me, and I'm proud of myself.
So, do you find college interesting?
Yeah, it's interesting, and it's real hard though. And I'd say for those that would want to go to college, that you really have to have a lot of determination, because there's a lot of times when I have to study and I can't have fun and I can't visit people. A lot of things come first when you go to college.
Okay. That was real good. Now, We got another question down here. What do you have any feelings at all on the national deficit?
Well, more money than I think I'll ever see. I think it's way too high, and I think that we have taken precautions and measurements to cut it, but I just see that we have to have people in numbers, and if we all get together and put our heads together and think, and then organize our ideals and just take them to the president, then we'll get results.
Okay. Do you agree with the president's policy on spending on the defense budget?
Yes, I do, because we don't live in a perfect world, and a perfect ideal solution would be for us all not to have wars, but that's not the way reality is. And if we don't spend money for national defense, then what's going to happen is, like you stated earlier, that we're going to become maybe number 6 when it comes to machinery. And we need to be on top of things, and with the Russians, with them as our enemies, we need to be as good or well, preferably better than they are. And if we just stop everything and don't keep up our study in those fields, then we'll just become a ruined nation, because they'll wipe us off the earth.
Do you feel like that we should increase the military budget at the expense of different social programs in the nation? Like maybe cut back on Medicare and Social Security benefits and things like that, just to keep our military budget high?
I don't know about that, old people, they have so little as it is now. I really don't know where the president should cut at. I know he has cut a lot of programs. I don't know, I think maybe that he should cut maybe on welfare, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that have received welfare and food stamps and all kinds of aid like that, and that they don't need it, and they could work, maybe in programs like that. Some places he should, and some places it's cut to you.
Yeah, well, it's sort of a thing like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You got to start cutting back somewhere.
That's
so,
true.
A lot of the Democrat people, they believe that you should cut the military spending real sharp and increase the social programs.
I think there has to be a balance, maybe. And instead of just wiping one program completely out, like you said, maybe we should just cut all the programs to where instead of just a few people feel it, then maybe everybody feel it, and then, I don't know. It's a good question to think about.
Do you feel like we could ever come to a peaceful agreement with the Soviet Union? Do you feel like that they are trustworthy enough where they would keep their agreement at peace talks and everything?
No, I don't think we'll ever come to an agreement, because they operate in a different mindset. They have a different way of thinking than we do. Their people aren't free, and they have just different philosophy of life than we do, and we don't agree, and we probably won't ever agree.
Okay. What are your feelings about the abortion issue that's really running hot in the country today? Do you think that there should be pro-choice? Do you think women should have a right to say what they do with their own body?
No, I disagree. I think abortion is sickening, and it's no with God. The Bible says, "Thou shalt not murder." And the only way that I could see it ever being okay is maybe through rape or incest. And that, from what I understand, with the abortion issue is like a very small percentage of the overall abortions. And I think it's very cruel with abortions, because I had a class and we had to go and we had to look at all these specimens of aborted babies, and they were all in alcohol, and it was terrible, because even when a baby is about this small, I mean, you can see its eyes and its head, and it has lungs, and its heart's already formed, and it's all of his internal organs, they're all working. And even though that's not a human being to what we would look at it as a full developed baby, that's still a baby. And in the Bible, God says, I've knit you in your mother's womb, and He knows you from the very moment that your conception. So I think that it's not right.
Well, if the law was changed on abortion, then would you feel like that the law should be changed where that abortion could be allowed under certain circumstances, or would you say that abortion should never be allowed, or like it is now, you know, pro-choice?
No, I think that if it was changed, I think that you have to allow for incest and rape, but that's about it. Because I just can't see it any other way.
All right. So now I want to ask you another question, going in a different way. What do you feel about capital punishment? Do you think that the states are right to enforce capital punishment?
Capital punishment? That wasn't one of my questions.
That's a mine.
Oh, let's see.
This
Capital
is
punishment.
you know, it's not as hot an issue as abortion is, but it is something that I think that people have to think about. You know, what if it was put to a vote whether you agree or don't agree with capital punishment? How would you vote on it? Would you vote that you agree with it, or?
No, I vote against it because going back to, you know, I don't think that I have the right to take somebody's life. And I just, you know, that's to give somebody a death sentence, that's not your choice.
But it has to be the choice of the law of the land to say, yes, capital punishment is the law or not the law. It has, you know, someone has to make that decision, and it has to be the law of the land one way or the other. You know, either yes or no.
Well, I think no. I mean, because first of all, I think capital punishment is an easy way out. I mean, in a way it is, because if a prisoner is, you know, sentenced to life in prison, what is easier for them to just die, or to just think about what they've done for the rest of their life? I don't know, that's something that I think that I would have to think about a lot.
You don't think then that capital punishment is a deterrent to crime, to other criminals?
Oh, well, that's true too. If I was going to commit a crime, I think I'd definitely think about the consequences. But then again, with the crime right now, I mean, definitely a lot of people haven't been thinking about the consequences because the crime rate is up.
I'm just, how many of you think then you think that it may be a deterrent to crime?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So therefore, don't you think that it would be worth it to have capital punishment as a law if it would be a deterrent to crime?
I'm not signing no more in that forever.
Well, my past.
Are you saying
I
that?
think that I need to
Just really think
about
more
that,
about that,
yeah.
huh? Okay, I want to ask you something else now. Looking back over your life, is there anything in your life that you would like to go back and live over so that you could change it and just make it different than the way it was?
Yeah, I think so. I think the years between when I got saved and when I rededicated my life, I think that I would do that differently. I wouldn't go out and hang around with certain people that influenced my life to go a different direction, which was away from God. And also, too, at that time I knew Jim, and he asked me what he should do. Should he go into the Navy? And I didn't say anything, you know, because I felt like, well, I couldn't date, you know, and I really couldn't tell him what to do. And so by not voicing my opinion, he went into the Navy because he felt like nobody cared. And even if I would have said, no, I don't want you to go into the Navy because I'm your friend and I like you and I want you to keep on going to church, maybe that would have changed his mind. So I would definitely do that different.
Okay. I've got a final question I want to ask you. If you left here tonight and you got killed on the way home, do you know absolutely what would happen to you? Do you know, or do you just think you know, or?
No, I know absolutely that I would go to heaven because you know, I believe in the Bible, and the Bible says if you're born again, then you're going to see Jesus and you're going to see God. And I believe that even if I sin today and die tonight, that I don't think from my past now I tried to live it up to God's standards, and I believe that God would say, well, you know, well done, come on in, you know.
Then you're saying that you don't believe that you would go to heaven just because that you have lived a good life? Then.
No, definitely in the Bible it says specific steps that you have to take. You have to ask God to forgive you of your sins, and you have to ask Him to come into your heart, and you have to confess that He is Lord and Savior, and believe that He is risen from the dead. And I have done those things, and I believe that I'll go to heaven. I have no question about it, because that's what my life is. That's all that I believe in. And if I would say, well, I don't really know if I'll go to heaven, then I'm not real sure about all kinds of things that I believe in. And another question that she was talking about earlier about baptism, I think it's important to be baptized, because that says that you're saying that you're born again and you're going on with your life with God. But I also believe that you should, but if for some reason you didn't, I don't think that you would go to hell just because you didn't. And the reason why I base my theory on that is like the two thieves that were hanging on the sides of Jesus, and one of the thieves, you know, he believed in Jesus, and Jesus said, I'll see you in paradise. Well, he didn't have a chance to be baptized, and he wasn't kept out of heaven, but that's my belief on that.
Okay. Is there any other comments that you would like to make?
Roll 'em.
That's
This is a Hollywood production, and it is now 2:30. Thank you very much, and you'll see me in the movies.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody? Happy birthday, Pat.
Oh, thank you.
How old are you today?
Oh, I'm about 41.
41?
He's 50.
Go ahead and
Okay.
shoot. Now, if you got any questions coming up, I don't want to answer. I'm going to say no comment.
No comment.
Okay, we got CPR. Okay, this tape is like a time capsule of our family.
Yeah?
Because sometime in the future, somebody might be seeing this movie, and we might be all passed away. So I'll be asking you some very basic questions about yourself. And that might seem very basic, but it helps if you answer them. Like, what's your name?
Larry Warlock.
Larry Warlock. Where you live, Larry?
I live in State Park, Collinsville, 3327, Arlington.
Okay. Could you give me like a short character summary, like what you're all about, like where you work at, and
Oh,
what are your hobbies, and things like that?
well, let's
What do you like
see.
to do?
Right now, I ain't working nowhere, looking for a job. I did work at a plating shop, worked at the racetrack, I did all kinds of jobs, handyman, I guess you could call me. My favorite hobby is baseball.
Really?
Yeah, baseball.
You think you can have a team again this year?
No, I don't think so. I did it one year. I felt like I wanted to do something for the kids, and I did. And we wound up in second place, so
That's pretty good.
accomplished a whole lot there, I thought. First year into it.
Really?
No, they're not in yet.
Maybe if you go this year, you maybe get first place.
Yeah, I could, but I don't think I want to get back into it. There's a lot of, well, there's not that much time to it, but it takes, you know, it does take up your time with it. But right now the main concern is finding a better job and doing what I want to do. Do something like I like, you know.
That's very important.
Yeah, it is.
If you get stuck in a job where you're making good money, but you don't like what you're doing, that's gonna be pretty miserable, can't it?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation like that before?
No, not really. Everything I do, I just about like to do. Work outside, and I can do inside work, stay inside, outside, anything really. I like to do odd jobs, different types of jobs. But if I have to, do something over and over the same day, I have to do it over and over the same day to make a living. You got to make a living to live, to survive.
Yeah.
You don't do that, and then you're in the gutter.
Okay, I got a few questions for you to make you think about some things, but I'd like you to keep in mind that the questions I ask you, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just looking for your opinion. And your opinion isn't right or wrong, it's just yours, okay?
Yeah.
So, okay, what do you think your short-range goals are in the next 6 months or next year?
Short-range goals, huh? Let's see.
And like you said, you want to get a job real quick.
Yeah, I guess that's the main concern right
That's
now.
very short, yeah, immediate.
Is getting a job, pays halfway decent, where you can survive on, save a little bit of money, I guess, to get things a little bit better than what you ain't got. Help pay for the kids going to school, bring for groceries, everyday living, shoot, expenses. Takes money to live on, and that's about the main concern right there. Find a better job.
What about long-range goals? Do you think you might like to maybe get a bigger house someday?
Oh yeah. Shoot, long range goal now. House we got been in there over 75. This is 85, going on 10 years. Been in that house over there where we live at now.
Is it getting smaller on you?
And well, it's a small house. I did build a room on it though to make to split the kids up, Brian and Kelly. And but it's a small house. I'm looking for a bigger house. I want to have a bigger house, maybe a garage with it. Keep the car inside.
All things are possible.
But it takes money for that. So you got to work and save. Find a halfway decent job where you can save.
Yeah, it's hard to find a good job these days, ain't it?
Oh yeah. Dropped out of school. I went to 11th grade, 11 and a half years. So I found out that you had to have a high school diploma. And I went back. Well, this past year I got my GED. Well, that's equivalent to a high school diploma, so I got that. That'll help out some.
That's a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah, I felt good about that, getting it. But nowadays you gotta have something where the employer will want to hire you. You gotta have to present yourself to him and make him think that you do want to work and you'll be a profit to the company there. Help out.
I'm in about the same position you are right now. I'm working 2 jobs, but neither one of them make very much money. And they're both just part-time, too.
Well, see, that's something too there. If you can't find a full-time job, you have to take on a couple part-time jobs.
Do what you have to do.
If it's only 5 hours on one job and 4 hours on the other, well, shoot, that's still you can still make it there. But I'm looking for full-time employment.
Yeah, that's
want
important.
some security, insurance. I want a place where I know I want to be, and then when I get that, I know that I'm going to be there for a while. Then I can, while I'm working there, save up money, and then eventually move and get another house. Have a better house to live better. That's about the main thing, I guess.
What do you think the most significant thing that's happened in your life? The most important thing, the turning point?
Let's see, the most significant turning point. What do you mean, like something I did, or what? Anything?
Something that's happened in your life. The most important thing, or the thing that you're most proudest of.
Well, I guess let's see. I guess the main thing is getting married. Everybody can get married one of these days.
Very good.
And I guess I had my pull of being single, running around all over the country.
Don't get yourself
And I thought
I
it was
guess old
time
after a
to,
while, don't it?
thought it was time to settle down, you know. So I met Judy, and got married in '75.
So you're pretty happily married?
Been married going on 10 years. And it's been good so far, that I can say.
As long as you're happy, that's the main thing, ain't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, what do you think of some of the most important achievements in your life are? You mentioned your GED and you mentioned getting married.
Okay, yeah.
That's second place in your baseball team. That's an important
Yeah,
achievement.
well, I tell you, I've always wanted to have something, and
No, girl babies are real heavy.
like,
Pants and peas and
well, when I was working, put a little bit of money in, I established my own credit.
It's great.
That's where I was able to buy things that we needed, television set, ice box, and, you know, your main essentials that you gotta have. Own all them things, and I established myself some good credit, and I had no, well, before we got married and that, I had no junker, you know. Well, it was a halfway decent car.
The red car?
Got around, yeah, that. I had a couple other ones before that, but
That was better than my 67 Cheryle.
yeah, I wanted to get something better, you know. And, well, all the time on a used car or something, you're always going to have trouble with. But a new car, too, you have trouble with. So I wanted to get a newer car, and we got a better car back in 1980, and just paid that off, well, last year, October, November, owned that. And, well, we got lucky on our house. We don't owe no house payment or anything like that.
That's a big blessing.
We got a good deal from that lady there. She's pretty nice about that. She practically give it to us for nothing, you know. And, well, there wasn't nothing in the house. And everybody pitched in, helped us get it ready to live in and all that. Appreciate that a whole lot. But that was another, accomplishment. Felt good about everybody helping out to get us going in there and that, have a place to live. Appreciated that a whole lot from everybody that chips in. It's like, somebody helps somebody in the family. That's the way it should be, you know.
Yeah.
Don't expect no pay from them and that. You gotta work together. And family-wise, you should help one another all the time. Say, well, heck on this person here. What's he doing that for? Or stuff like that. You got to work together. So you get along with each other.
That's right.
Next question.
Okay, next question. Do you have any feelings on the national deficit? Is it important to you?
On the national deficit? Well, yeah. The national deficit, I'll tell you, from what I hear on the news and all that, it's pretty high. It's way, way high.
More money than
Always in debt. The nation is always in debt, you hear about. This president's going to lower the deficit. And the president before him is going to lower it. That's all you hear about. But the only ones I guess to blame is the ones in office there, the politicians and all that, you know. But if there's a way to lower it, I guess they can do it. But always in debt, I don't see how this country's going to come ahead.
Do you feel there's anything that you as an individual can do to help bring it down?
Well, see, I don't know. I'll tell you. Nothing that I can do, because I ain't in no politics or anything like that. I wouldn't know where to begin at.
Well, David, with a small stone, brought down somebody who was 3 times as big as he was with a tiny rock.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
be something we
well,
can do.
I guess you could. There's ways on, getting involved in the community there and your city and know what's going on all the time. I guess you can help out in some way, one way or the other, would make a contribution somehow to it. Make suggestions on doing something, I guess, there ain't no answer to it, but you can, I guess, help bring it down one way or the other. I don't know by doing what, I guess just getting involved if you like to do that. But,
Something to think about, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
In their writing, she has them write about just
Okay, you've got two beautiful little children. What do you think about abortion?
and she said that
Do you think if Judy got pregnant again, maybe, that if the doctor performed a test on her and said that the baby was going to be mentally retarded or deformed, do you think that you would consider aborting the baby?
Well, I hear a whole lot about that abortion.
Become a big issue.
And there's pros and cons on it. Yeses and nos. The individual. Well, I guess I myself would be against it. That's, taking the life away, really. And if the baby's going to be born retarded or mentally retarded or without only one arm or one leg or something, I guess that's the way God wanted it to be. And, I guess I would be against abortion.
Okay, that's very good. It seems like we hear in the news and on the TV these days that everybody's coming out of the closet. Do you think that...
Coming out with what?
Coming out of the closet.
Coming out of the closet.
Yeah, do you think these people should stay in the closet, or
Jimmy,
does it matter to
tell me
you?
what you're talking about. You're talking about homosexuals.
What do you mean?
Yeah, homosexuals.
Oh. Well, I'll tell you that, that's another thing, up to the individual. That's, I'm against that completely. Homosexuals or lesbians and that, if God wanted it like that, I guess He would have made it where they could get married. Lesbians and homosexuals get married. But,
How would you face it if a friend of yours all of a sudden announced that he was a homosexual?
Well, if he was a friend of mine, I guess I'd just fade away from him. I wouldn't have, too much to do with him anymore. Abort him. I don't go for any of that. I hear that on the news all the time, TV. Out there in California, well, it's all over the country, really. Around here in St. Louis, or be up here in Collinsville, all over. I don't see it right.
How would you react if you listen to the radio, and there's this singer you listen to all the time, and all of a sudden one day he announced that he is a homosexual? Would that make you not like his songs, or would it matter?
Well, I guess, if the man sang a good song on that, that's his private life. You cigarettes bother you? I want to smoke. I don't care.
Say Ronnie Millsap all of a sudden announced that he liked men and not women.
Yeah.
He's a good singer.
Well,
would it matter?
I'd have a disregard for him personally. If he sang a good song, he'd come out with a good song and that, that's his accomplishment. And then if people liked it, and if I liked it, I'd buy the record or something like that, But personally, I wouldn't care who he was. If it was a good record, sang it good and all that, put it out, shoot, I'd buy it, if I liked it.
Okay, a lot of people think of homosexuality as being like an abstract concept, because it doesn't really involve us. But what would you do if that your teachers, your child's teachers in school?
I'd go over there right now and I'd take them out of the schoolhouse there, take them out of their classroom.
Then they'd offend you, right?
I'd go right to the principal. I said, "You keep this son of a gun out of here, boy."
But that's his personal life.
Kids, huh?
That's his personal life, though.
Well, I'd do something about it. I wouldn't have my kid there in that schoolroom with him. Taking
But
a
it
chance of
affects you,
him, taking a chance of him or her getting to one of my kids. Shoot, no. Knock that son of a gun inside the head or something.
Okay, I got another question for you. This is like another abstract concept that doesn't involve us, but is all around us. What do you think about the nuclear arms race?
That's what the missiles and spaceships and
Russia's
rockets
missiles
and all
our
that.
missiles.
Yeah.
How many
Between
times we can destroy the Earth?
Between the United States and the Soviets, you mean, the Russians?
Right. That's
Going
the
to the
thing, too.
moon, you mean? Is that what you're talking about?
The hottest issue right now is putting defensive nuclear weapons in space.
Well, I guess they shouldn't compete against that. It shouldn't even exist, really. If one nation has that and another nation ain't got it, then they say, well, there's something wrong, they can abolish it, you know. Want to destroy the world? Shoot, that one person pushed a button, there it goes, man.
Is it possible that the Russians could bomb us at any time?
That ain't the way it should be, no. Yeah, the Russians, that's what it's, that's all you hear, Russians doing this, and Russians first in this, and the United States is always second or something, you know. They always should work together, I guess, you know, not fight one another all the time.
Okay, on the other hand, what do you think about military spending? Because in this 1985 year budget, President Reagan plans to add more to the military spending and take social spending and bring it down, so it's tipping like that on the scale. So we're spending more on military than we are for social programs.
Well, there ain't no wars going on, not over here, you know, not that I know of. Well, small wars, I guess, recently, past couple months, Nicaragua and a couple other ones, I guess. That's mainly the ones I heard about, ones over there, Far East there. And military, they should just keep it at the same level. They should, I mean, you know, it shouldn't go up anymore each year. If there ain't no major war coming on, World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, Civil War, all them. Huh?
How can you predict?
Well, you can't predict them, but I guess them officials, they know what's going on. They know how people reacting over there, and how the politicians reacting over here, up here in Washington and all that, you know. Shoot, that they know a little bit more than the average person, you know, because it all don't get out. And that's what they do. They keep it away from the public. They don't publicize all that. But military spending, they should they should just keep it at a certain level, you know. Shouldn't go any higher on it. I guess that would help the national deficit too, you know, bring it down.
Okay. Looking back over your life, if you had the chance to start, we'll say from age 5, and you can just go forward from there, what would you change in your life?
Yeah, what would I change? Yeah, not too much. I guess I've enjoyed everything so far, what I've been doing. Just to be an average person like anybody else, you know. Not one to be looked up to all the time or something like that, you know. Just to be average, just like anybody else. Getting by day by day, year by year, and so on, you know. Well, maybe, you know, people accomplish, you know, being a movie star and stuff like that, you know. Well, that's the way it is meant to be.
Do you think there's anything wrong with people accomplishing great things like that?
Oh, no, shoot, no. Come up with an idea or something, you know, make it famous, well, that's more power to you, you know. Shoot, I always like to think of different ideas, you know, come up with something different, you know, or you need something to repair. There's always a way to do it. There ain't no to it, you know. If there's a will, there's a way, you know. You can do it if you want to set your mind to it. But I guess I'd keep my life the same. I wouldn't change anything too much. Maybe finish school. I should have finished school back in '68. Stay out a little bit. Well, all that marijuana and pot going around, all that. That was a fad back in then.
Would you exchange that? Or do you think that you need to experience that?
Oh, I've experienced it. Shoot, yeah.
Well, you have, but you think that if you had your life to live over again, do you think you would have done it again because you need to experience it?
Well, yeah. I probably would have experienced it. Maybe not the big, the needles and that stuff, because I don't like them. No way. I'd see them stick a needle in me, boy, I'd knock them out. But, like a pot, and that's about the only thing, you know. And it's something that, from what I hear, and from what when I did do, it's just like alcohol or something like it. But I guess too much of it will affect you sooner or later.
Okay, Larry, if right now was the last minute you had to live, and you were just going to die in the next minute, where do you think you would go? You think that your soul would go to heaven or to hell?
Well, there's a place for you in heaven or hell, from what I understand, and I guess everybody's done wrong. There ain't nobody perfect in this world.
No, there sure ain't.
And everybody commits sins. I've committed sins and done good. I believe I go to heaven.
Because you've done good deeds?
Well, we've done good and bad, but he'll God forgive. He might not forget. He knows everything that you do. He's got things planned out for you. He's got your days set when you're going to go. And that's the way I accept it. If I'm ready to go in the next minute, that's where I believe I'll go. I don't make the major decisions like that, you know.
Okay, Mr. Warlock, I think it's been a very good time.
Call Sparky and put him on there? Call Sparky on the
Sparky! Come here, boy.
Come here, Sparky.
Get him up there so you can get your dog.
Come here.
I can't believe it. You're going to our yard?
Okay.
Yeah. Tell
Now
everybody who that is.
This is Sparky Warlock. He lives at 3327 Arlington Street 2.
Does he have anything to say for himself?
Speak! And he always wants to go outside. He wants to follow me all around all the time. Look at him.
That's your tiger one.
Larry's best friend, man's best friend.
Say, that's all, folks.
Okay, what's your name, just for the sake of the tape on there? Just
Glenn McAdoo.
Okay, now, I want to talk to you about a few things. This, and you're roofer, right? You do roofing, okay. This spring coming up, pretty soon, I'm going to go to the bank. I want to make a loan about getting a roof put on my house. So I want you to kind of, give me an estimate about what it costs to have a roof put on my house.
$1,800.
Well, okay.
Somewhere around there.
And I also, I'm going to find out how much it costs, and I want to put some siding in the house too. I almost got this house paid off, and I want to go back and make a loan for, maybe $10,000. And I'm going to put a roof on, and I want to get new siding put on. Just the same kind that's on it now. I don't want aluminum or nothing like that. I just want this kind that's on it now, just insulated siding. And we're going to tear down that little house over there. And first I got to get a trailer permit, but then I want to get a trailer put over there. And Jim and Lylia are going to move in the trailer.
You could put 2 trailers out there.
Yeah. One for Jim and one for Lylia.
Mine, this is yours.
Well, that's just one of the things, that I guess that's my own interview. That's my short-range plan. I want to make a loan, back at the place where I got this house financed at. I've almost got it paid off, and I want to go back and make a loan and get enough to have the roof put on and everything. So there'll be a job for you pretty soon, as soon as snow melts and stuff like that. All right, I got some questions here that I can ask you, or else we can just talk about, I just want to talk about a few things.
stay here.
Get it on the cassette and
Stay here,
everything.
Sparky.
Because, maybe you'll be dead tomorrow.
Come here, babe.
And then
Very possible.
it's very possible,
Very
so then we can look back on this cassette and say, see, he was alive right there, so that's one of the reasons that we want to make this, because, 10 years from now, when we play it back, who knows how many of us will be here at that time, So we just like to get a few of your views on things. Everybody has their own opinion about things, and, it's not right or wrong. Whatever your opinion is, that's your own opinion, and to you it's right. So there's no right or wrong to any of these questions. It's just your own opinion. So I'm just going to ask you some of these things in here. You can blame them on Lila, she wrote them up. Okay, the first question is, do you have any long-range plans? Do you have any, what plans do you have for your life? Say maybe in the next year or two, or maybe in the next 5 or 10 years. What kind of plans do you have? Or do you have any? Just live day
No,
to
the
day?
only thing I'm going to do is just whatever I make, I'm going to start investing in real estate.
Well,
Cheap real estate.
Well, that's
Cheap
some good
rentals.
plans, yeah. Well, that sounds like some pretty good plans. So you're just going to kind of save your money until you get enough money to maybe buy a house and rent it out?
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay. Just got a few general questions here. Do you have any feelings on the state of the country? Right now, the country, there's a big national deficit right now. Do you agree with President Reagan's stand that we should try to cut the national deficit, or do you agree that the nation should keep on, just wildly spending?
I'm not really all that concerned about it. I'll let them handle that.
Think they'll do their own
Think
job
they'll do
doing
their
that,
own
huh?
thing.
Well,
Because it don't make any difference what I think or not, because it ain't going to change nothing.
well, that's okay. Okay, there's a hot issue going on in the country right now about abortion. Do you have any feelings about that? Do you feel like you would be for the law that's right now? The law right now is pro-choice. Or do you think the law might ought to be changed?
Yeah, I think it should be changed back like it should. I don't think that there should be any abortions.
Okay, do you think that maybe under any circumstances there should be no abortions, or do you think that maybe under certain circumstances?
Under certain circumstances, like if a woman was raped or something like that, there I could see, in something like that there, but otherwise, or if it was going to cause her health problems.
So then you would want to change the law right now as pro-choice, just change it where it was more narrowed down to where it would be just under certain circumstances.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Also, there's an issue in the country right now, and they're making a kind of a production out of it on television too, about the issue of homosexuality. Do you believe that it should be an accepted state of an accepted way of life for people? Do you think that it's all right for the homosexual people to come out of the closet and be teachers in schools, have influence over children?
No, I don't believe that they should have any jobs like that there where they can influence young kids or anything else like that there.
Do you think employers should be able to discriminate against hiring a person when if an employer found out that a person was a homosexual, that they should have the option whether to hire them or not on the basis of that, finding out, say they was qualified for a job and an employer intended to hire them until they found out that they was a homosexual and then he didn't want to hire them. Do you think that he should have that option?
Sure.
Well, you think he should be able, then they would say that they were discriminated against because of, their preference. So you think that the employer should be able to discriminate against them?
Sure.
It should be up to him, the kind of people that he hires. Okay. Go. All right. Do you have any feelings at all about the military budget? That the president right now, he's introduced the military budget, and he has increased the military budget a lot, while he has cut some of the social programs in the country in order to finance the military budget. Do you agree with that?
No, we have to stay on top with all of our weapons. Otherwise, we'll get walked on.
So then you agree that he's right in increasing the military budget?
Sure, yeah.
Even at the expense of some of the social programs in the country, such as Medicare and
If
things?
we don't keep up our defense program, there won't be nothing to worry about because they'll walk all over top of us. It's just as simple as that.
Do you feel that we could ever come to a peaceful agreement with the Soviet Union?
No, no. I don't
Then,
think that
so
ever
then
happened.
therefore you feel like the peace talks are just that we're having with the Soviet Union right now are just really a waste of time?
No, it ain't a total waste of time, but it just won't never happen, though.
There's a lot of people that you never
They want our land, and that's all there is to it.
They could be your best friend. Just don't say
So then you don't feel like we could ever come to a peaceful agreement?
No.
Okay, if, put it on pause for a minute. Okay, you say that you would like to invest in real estate, and okay, would you like to, are you talking about just buying houses and renting them out, or maybe to buy property and then reselling it?
Resell it, put it back on the market. Buy it as cheap as you can, rehabilitate it, put it back on the market.
Rather than rent it out?
Right, because I have access to cheap labor and good carpenters, and I can contract everything myself and cut the price down
Okay, so
probably
then,
60%.
so then you wasn't really talking about buying up places just to rent out and have rental property?
Well, yeah, you rent them out until, because you put them back on the market and they're not going to sell real fast.
Oh, I see.
You get top
put
dollar.
them for sale and then rent it out
Right.
while
That way you
it's
still
on
got
the
money coming
market
in,
for sale.
and it ain't a dead loss.
Okay. What? Oh, well, what area would you think that you would like to look at for buying that property?
As long as the price is right, it really don't make any difference.
If you was had a house that you was renting out, and say that you was renting it out with all the utilities paid and everything, what do you think about a person that would regulate their?
You can't rent to anybody in furnished utilities because they wouldn't be as conservative as you would be, and that's a bad deal.
Yeah, so then you feel like that, okay,
There's no way that you could rent to somebody in furnished utilities.
Okay, I agree with that.
You'll end up with a huge gas bill.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's talk about you a little bit. What do you think is the most significant thing that's ever happened in your life? When you look back, and you think, what is the most important thing that's ever happened in your life?
That would be kind of hard to say.
Okay. Well, the next question is just about the same thing. What's the most important achievement in your life? That's about the same thing.
But I never did mind it at all.
Well,
I'd rather do something that I felt like I was supposed to do. And I never did bother me.
how should I end it? Okay. Well, I think we've about come to the end of our questions here, and we hope you have a lot of luck in finding some places to buy that you like to buy. Okay, Jim, just for the sake of our video right here, just give me your name and how you're related to me. Are you my brother, my uncle, my cousin?
My name is James Dale Alton, and I'm firstborn son.
You knew that, didn't you?
Took a while.
Okay.
And for a brief summary of myself, I work at a bank, Southern Illinois Bank in Fairview Heights. Come and put in the Christmas club. And
Christmas club, huh?
I work for a bus company, R.W. Harmon, I had to think of the name. And I go to church on Sundays. And I'm working on Wednesdays.
Well, what church do you go to?
Alpha and Omega Christian Fellowship in State Park.
What do you think about going to church in State Park? State Park doesn't have one of the best reputations in the world, so what do you think about that?
Well, that's where church is most needed, that's where the worst reputation is.
Good answer. That's a good answer. Okay, getting back to these questions here, we got your, okay, you said you drive a school bus, huh? What age kids do you pick up on your school bus?
Well, there are a multitude of ages, like the oldest kid I have on my bus is 20 years old. And
20 years old?
yes.
School?
Yeah.
Gee.
But you think I use 20-year-old and kid in the same word, but she is a 20-year-old kid because she's one of my special ed kids. And she's
So
about,
what,
she's really about the same age as Johnny or David, you know.
so what class does she go to? She goes to a special ed class?
I think in their special ed classes, they don't think they really just have grades, you know, like 7, 8, 9. I think they just, I'm not really sure how they work, but I don't really think they have classes per se.
So you pick up younger kids too, huh?
Yeah, my smallest kid, she's about, I don't know how old she is, but she's about that tall. Little tiny girl.
Yeah.
You see her
Do
out.
they ever say any funny things to you, any of these little kids? Or do you have any conversation with them?
Well, I have an ETC route, my educational therapy children, and they say a lot of things that I wouldn't repeat. But my other kids, they're pretty neat, but I can't think of anything right off the bat that they say in particular.
Okay.
Draw a blank.
Yeah. Well, do you like driving a school bus?
It's kind of funny because God has worked out in a special way that the ETC kids, they got to get to school, and their parents, I would say, aren't really responsible enough. Well, they got their jobs and they want to sleep in later or whatever, so there has to be a school bus to take the kids to school. And so I'm the one to do that. And they're kind of a headache to drive for sometimes because of the language and the way they talk and the way they fight and things like that. But then I had my special ed kids right afterwards, and they're the exact opposite of the coin. As a matter of fact, Webster School wants us to start writing up these by conduct sheets, you know, give them a plus if they're good, or write down a number of the incident in which they were bad, you know. They got like a number system. But on my special ed kids, I won't even, they say I have to use the sheet, you know, because it's a new rule they're bringing around. But
Is this kind of it's a grading of their conduct while
on the
they're on
bus,
the bus?
yeah. But for my special ed kids, it'll be all the pluses because they're about that close to being angels. They're real nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty well behaved, huh?
Yeah. So God really worked it out that I have them second, so I keep my sanity.
Okay. Tell me what kind of short-range plans that you have.
I'm really working on trying to get less hours, more pay.
Less hours and more
Really,
pay.
because I'm classified as part-time at the bank right now, and they say if I get over 1,000 hours a year, they got to give me benefits. You know, I'm supposed to be considered full-time then if I make over 1,000 hours a year. So they've been talking about having me only work three days a week, but upping my salary. You know, because if I work 4 days a week, I'm easily going to go over 1,000 hours a week by October. So I don't really know what they're going to do about that, but what I would like them to do is to give me a full-time status and benefits.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind working the hours, even though I am working 9, 10, 11 hours a day now with the bus too. That's
So
all
then
I'm
what you would really like to do is work into a full-time job at the bank and maybe cut your bus driving
ditch
down?
the bus.
Ditch the bus. Just park the bus, huh?
I don't like getting up early with that.
Yeah.
Getting up before 6 o'clock every morning and
What
getting
time
in.
do you have to start your first run in the morning?
Well, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I leave the bus lot at 7 o'clock to start my route, and I pick up the first kid at 7:15. And from the time that I leave the bus lot, I drive about 2 hours. Then I get to bring the bus back to my house.
So then you would really prefer to
And the idea is that I work from the bank. I work from anywhere from 10:30 to 12 o'clock. You know, that late. I work that late. Then I gotta get up at 6 o'clock. And sometimes by Wednesday or Thursday, I'm getting kind of wore down.
Okay, that's about takes care of your short-range plans. Now, what about your long-range plans? What do you really want to do in your future?
Well, I'm a Sunday school teacher at the church, and seeing all these kids, we get some beautiful little kids. And as soon as I can get some insurance, I want to have some kids.
That's your long-range plans, then, is to start a family, you're saying?
Really?
Okay.
It's not the long-range plan, you know, but
That's just one of your
it's
goals.
one of the things that's heavy on my mind. I want to have a little baby girl.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want us to move out of our, well, short range is to move out of our apartment into a different place. And ideally next door to the church here, in a pretty nice trailer. But long range, we want a house out in the country someplace.
Full of kids, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
3 or 4.
Okay. Moving right along, what do you consider as the most significant thing that's happened in your life?
Well,
Up to
without
now.
question, giving my life over to Jesus.
That's the most important thing you consider. Okay. Okay. Now, what do you consider to be the most important achievements in your life?
That's a good question, and everybody should think this over, because everybody has important achievements in their life, no matter how big or small. I'd have to name control data as being one of them, because I didn't make that good at grades while I was in there, but I started it and I finished it. And it was only a 6-month course, but it was not easy. And I started it and I finished it. And that makes me proud, because I got the little certificate I can hang on my wall at home saying I went to control data. And I can put it on my resume and things like that. And I got my Class C license, and I almost sweated blood to get it too.
For driving your bus?
Yeah. And God kind of brought that about because I wanted the Class C license before I even started driving the bus. So the written test wasn't easy, and the driving test wasn't easy either. Because I get to drive with this old man, you know, and he's very quiet, and he just told me what to do, but he just like watched my every move, and it just, there's something that I'm proud to have on my license, my driver's license. It's that little tiny C, because it was not easy to get. And also joined the Navy because it took me away from my family for a long time, but again, going through boot camp wasn't easy, and going through sub school wasn't easy, and it's just an accomplishment that I feel good that I've done. And also going to all these different lands, I got to experience some of the world, and I'm still looking forward to doing some traveling too.
Did you get to see much of the different places while you was gone, like to Hawaii and to the United Kingdom? Did you get to see much of it?
No, not to Hawaii. That's so disappointing. It's less than a day that I spent in Hawaii, but 14 days in transit to Hawaii. That was a bum trip. But Scotland I really enjoyed, and the Virgin Islands I really enjoyed. Either place I could just sail off any day and go to either place and live the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I enjoyed both places so much.
Oh, well, that's good. Okay, let's move along a little bit here. Let's get your feelings a little bit right here on the big issue that's going on in the country right now on abortion. How do you feel about that now? Do you feel that the law as it stands now is it's pro-choice right now? Do you feel that that should be changed to abortion in no case, or abortion in certain cases, or do you think it should be left the way it is right now?
Well, the way the Supreme Court established the law was that the baby inside the mother is potential life, and not something that's actually living. And I don't see how such a large group of educated men could call something that has a heartbeat potential life. I'm definitely against abortion, and I believe, as the Bible says, that it is murder and that you should not take a life.
Then you're saying that you don't believe in abortion in any case?
only in the case of the mother's life. It's the only case.
Well, then you're saying that abortion would be all right under certain circumstances.
Only one circumstance.
Only one circumstance where the mother's life is in danger. Okay, you've asked this question enough. Okay, this is a question that you've asked a lot of everybody about coming out of the closet. Okay, now, the thing is...
I think we need to put locks in our closets.
Keep everybody in the closet.
Really?
No, the issue here is homosexuality. Do you believe that an employer should be able to discriminate in a hiring practice against homosexuals? Do you think if a man has a job that he wants filled and he finds out this person is qualified to do the job, but then he finds out he's a homosexual, do you think you ought to discriminate against him or be able to? I'm not saying that he should. I'm saying, do you think you ought to be able to discriminate against a man and say, no, I'm not going to hire you because you're a homosexual, even though you're qualified for the job?
Well, the way it is in the Navy, if all of a sudden a man's been in the Navy and he's, say, a second or third class petty officer, that's about an E4 or E5, and all of a sudden he wants to declare to his commanding officer that he's a homosexual, he gets thrown out. And the main reason being is that because it causes disharmony and discontent with everybody else. And, when you're in a working situation like that, you're working so close together that you're family, you know. And when you're in a situation where you can't trust the other person, it does create a discord in the working situation. Like saying this guy has been working in this job for 5 years and all of a sudden his boss finds out that he's a homosexual. His workmates are not going to like that. And
so then you're saying, though, that the policy in the Navy has nothing to do with morals or anything?
No, it's not a moral issue. It's just the issue that it causes discord and disharmony in the ranks. And, well, in a way it protects the guy's life, too, because they could throw this guy overboard, they could beat him up, they could kill him.
Okay. But you still didn't answer my question about hiring practices. Do you think an employer should be able to, if he wanted to, discriminate against hiring someone because of that, of finding out that he was a homosexual?
He should definitely be able to discriminate because, well, people are even discriminating against smokers and non-smokers now. Employers want non-smokers. And if they can go that far to discriminate, you know, because that causes disharmony in the working situation, you know. You can't work in a small, tight office, you know, where there's a cloud of smoke. And
so then you're saying, though, that if a man felt like he was barred from his job on the basis of his being a homosexual, that he should not be able to, say, like, sue his employer because he was discriminated against on those grounds. You're saying that the employer has the right to discriminate against certain groups of people.
That's right. Because, but another thing is this guy works his way up through the ranks, you know, and he becomes pretty popular, and it's all of a sudden discovered that he's a homosexual and he's higher ranking in the company. That's a bad mark in the company, and that could cause sales to drop off. There's just a number of reasons why the employer should be able to screen his employees and be able to discount the people.
Okay, so then you don't agree with this, people saying being able to sue people because they feel they were discriminated against. That employer should be able to choose.
Now there is a case that some people should be able to sue an employer for discrimination on the basis of race. Because a black person, as long as he's qualified for the job, should be allowed to work it. Just because of his color is not a reason to discount him.
Yeah, there's something that says people shouldn't be discriminated against on account of race, creed, or color.
But
what is
sexual preference is not on the end of that.
Doesn't that fall under creed?
Jim said he had a dream that Billy.
I don't know if it does or not. Let's go on from there anyway. How do you feel on the president's stand right now to increase the military budget? Do you have any opinion on that? Do you think that it's right, what the president is pushing for right now, to increase the military budget at the expense of other social programs?
Question again? Military spending. I echo Glenn's voice exactly on that, because if we don't have a strong military, the Russians will walk all over us, and if we don't have a high military, then after a while we won't have social programs to worry about, because our country will be taken over.
Okay, let me quickly ask you this. Do you think that we can ever come to a peaceful agreement with the Soviet Union?
Yes, I do believe it's possible, because right now we're working with a sweaty situation about the space laser defense system, Star Wars as they've named it, and this is putting us to the bargaining table, because if they can launch weapons and we can blow them out of the sky, then we've got something to talk about, you know. Because if there's no way we can destroy each other, then we need to get together and talk about peaceful things.
Well, then you're saying the only way that you think we could ever come to a peaceful agreement with the Soviet Union is to be stronger in military might than they are.
No, it's the idea that once we realize that neither one of us can kill each other. More than that is that neither one of us can wipe each other out. Now, the more sane possibility is to talk about limited war and not limited nuclear war. Like you say, our planes and the Russians' planes had a dogfight over another country, or out in the ocean someplace. That's limited war. We can handle that. They can handle that. But once we realize that we just can't wipe each other out with nuclear weapons, then we can come to a peaceful agreement. And that's what Reagan's working for.
Okay, I've got one more quick question before we end this interview. I want to ask you, if you was going home tonight and you got killed in an auto wreck or something and you were to die tonight, do you know absolutely where you would go?
Yes, I do. I know I would go to heaven, because that's what the Bible says. And if we believe that God made Adam from a pile of dust, and we believe that he parted the Red Sea, then we have to believe that he's going to send us to heaven if we believe in him, because that's what his word says.
Yeah, but how are you going to get it back then? Okay, that's good enough. Okay, we're going to end this interview. Thank you very much, young man.
Okay, Billy, for the purpose of the people who don't know our family, because some people might be seeing this tape in the future when our family's all dead, you know, maybe 50 years from now. I have to ask you some very, very basic questions. To first start, what's your name? Billy Hayes. What's your middle name, Billy? Okay, where do you live at? Collinsville, right?
Well, where are you going to set that thing when you do get it?
Okay, could you give me like a very brief character summary of yourself? Like, what are your hobbies? What school do you go to? Things like that. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm at school.
Which Kentucky Fried Chicken? Collinsville or North Carolina?
What'd you pay?
How's your car run?
See, it belonged to me from the get-go.
You still got the same car?
House I had over there in Texas.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Then whenever I sold it.
Okay, what do you think your short-range goals are? This next couple of months, or for the next half year, a year?
This was the work.
Do you have any goals? Things you'd like to do?
So I told the guy, you know, I still tearing out the house. Whenever I got that done.
I'm getting a car pretty soon.
A new car? That's pretty good. How soon?
By this summer. So they give me a job this summer.
Are you saving much money for it?
Oh, yeah, it's
I'll have it this summer.
It paid for itself.
What movies have you seen recently?
Well, you want to sell it?
Like Petite Four or Minor?
Haven't seen none.
Really? Been working on it?
Milton has got one, and
Is anything good on TV?
and
Everything on TV we're singing.
What grade are you in right now?
about
10th grade. I made pretty decent grades?
No.
Put it into my house.
What grades do you make it on the average? A's, B's, C?
But anyway, he's
Bad
going
grades,
to
D's
get
and
it
F's?
and bring it down here.
Yeah.
Why do you think this is?
When I get back down there, I'll tell him about it.
Why do you think you're making bad grades right now? You got bad teachers or something?
$100 for it.
What
I missed any days of school, that's all.
3 days or too many days?
2 days.
Because she's missed so many days.
Before they cut.
Bill might take him till 5 and
How'd you get cut? What does cut mean?
you go down there and get that done, and go down there and fix everything and put it on the back end.
How long was you out from
Bring it
that?
back with that one truck.
About 8, 9 days.
See, that first
That can set you back a
back
little
up
bit.
back there where it did.
I lost my credits.
You don't lose nothing.
Really?
You know, nothing hardly goes up there.
You think they would have excused you for that or something?
Because it collects all the
Every day I was cleaning it every day.
Did you get in a fight or something?
There's things through that, you know.
Did the other guy start it?
Yeah.
How'd you start it? Call your name or something?
He just walked up to me and started saying my stuff.
I might ask.
So I hit him.
Have they suspended this? Did they
Well, they
suspend both of
already tear it
you?
down and they,
Well, I got turned, I just had to take.
You didn't hurt him very bad, did you?
Front off that little,
Not really.
but the trailer has to be out there.
What kind of a job do you think you would
21 days.
like to get in the future? You don't intend to work at Kentucky Fried Chicken for very long, do you?
No, I'm working on diesel trailer.
With your dad?
So then once you
Yeah.
started talking to me, I thought, well, maybe it's not.
Can you drive a diesel yet?
Yeah, I drive.
Overdoing it.
I drive with my father and
All
we
that
got
time,
to take
30
more.
days.
Really?
They had already wrote
Is it scary to drive such a big machine like that?
No.
their laughter the night before. But,
I thought it was pretty awesome driving a big school bus, you know, 'cause it had all those lives in behind you, you know, where you don't have no, unless you drive have a car go behind you, you don't have to really worry about that.
Don't try to run along that store, they have to.
Remember when you
I
with
tried
me?
to do something with the driver.
Yeah.
I was too small. I had to
Carol
take it
went
out.
outside.
Do you think that you'd ever like to join the service
I
someday?
got home and I was too small.
Yeah,
Remember you got home and I had to-
Pardon?
Yeah, I play footy.
Really? How do you think you get that way?
About the last new thing I ever got.
Really?
Shoot, all the money's gotta go.
Can you run very fast?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
is
can run fast, but there's
I
nothing different
Yeah,
because
very hard to
you
get
walk very not far and you walk very far, your feet get hurt by it.
Yeah. That's what you say. Does that disappoint you a lot that you wouldn't be able to join?
I mean, that's not diet soda.
Okay, and he doesn't think it's pretty guilty to the others.
Do you have any girlfriends right now?
They got more than somebody gets in a hurry to sell it.
What's your name?
Where'd she get for the house?
Yes, you have a girlfriend.
Which one?
You just date a lot of girls, or do you have one steady?
I just go cooking around with
Really?
yeah, I'm off once a while.
I'm going down creek if you're taking.
Well, why did you break up with your girlfriend?
We ain't got no money for that.
Just wasn't working out.
He's got something looks like that on it. He should have a black outfit on our dark.
Do you have a steady girlfriend now?
No.
You seen a couple girls?
At that wedding, like,
Do you pick them up and take them on dates?
Are the people living there that bought the
I
place?
like to laugh up at
When are you gonna leave?
when he first got married.
We gonna meet her at?
Jimmy's
It's
wedding.
terrible, you know, it's hard for me because,
We all gonna leave her
like
now?
I said, it was, I just prayed before I went there.
He's gonna go out cruising around, eh?
I
used to
can't
do
believe,
that when I was
when I walked up to him, I wanted to see, you know.
mainly with the guys, you know, everybody going out, and going to movies and going to the lake. That's right.
Yeah, that's why I stay with the girls.
Some girls can get you in trouble too. That's the worst way that you can't get out.
I woke him up before I come down here. He said, I
Billy, if you were to die tonight, where do you think you would go? Would you go to heaven or would you go to hell? It's only two choices.
I told him, I said, well, you only have to be down there a little bit and then you come back and get in bed.
21 years old, arms are out.
Didn't I give you
Why,
one of
why are you not sure?
Yeah.
Did I give you one or
You don't really know
It
until you
turned out
die.
good. It's Kelly cut her
You
hair.
wouldn't know unless you're dead.
Well, do whatever you, say whatever you
Some
want to.
people believe that
Girl,
when you die that you just go in the ground and nothing else happens from that.
You told me you was gonna.
Do you believe you have a soul?
Put a permit on. You better think twice about it if you don't
Well,
like
no
it.
matter if you never
I didn't like her. That's why I was stupid.
just because you go to church a lot or something like that, and just because when you die, when you're
I think
asleep,
when I
you
get
die.
another permit, I'm just gonna get a.
Even if you go, somebody goes to church a lot, and they,
I want to work with curly hair.
you still don't know when you go when you die.
Well, the more you go to church, the more you learn about it, whether you're going to go or not. But the questions, there's no right or wrong answer to the questions. It's just your opinion, okay? One last question. If you could start your life over again, what would you change up to this
All I had
point?
to wait was the Jimmy's wedding.
Is there anything significant that you would change?
Yeah, I know, but if it could stay that way, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been born.
Why you say that? Has life been very bad for you so far?
We're getting another one. It looks awful like
I don't know.
If we could just put
We
a,
can get it cut. I
You
mean,
wouldn't change anything?
a great big shell on top of it.
maybe you didn't think it looked good, but I
Long
did.
enough to take it.
I liked it.
Well, that's pretty good. Then you're generally happy with your life right now, right?
I guess.
Don't look at him like that.
I got more work now than I've ever had in my life.
Okay, that's pretty good, Bill. Thank you for your comment.
November 21st,
Yeah.
1984, this baby was born.
We already got Michael's interview on there. We're gonna do yours right now.
Halline, you've got Lila trapped in. Can Billy move your car?
My keys are in my...
Here, look at it. 'Cause you might have tilted it.
Fine, go ahead.
So how do you feel about having your 13th child there?
What? You gone nuts, boy.
I'm just teasing you. Okay, Halline, for the purpose of our time capsule right here. What's wrong? Put it all away.
He's coming.
I need my gloves.
Just go ahead.
Just hold it for a minute, okay? Okay, like I was saying before, for the purpose of our time capsule right here, and the idea of a time capsule is that people maybe 50 years from now might be looking at this, and they're not going to know who you are if I just call you Halline. So I'm going to be asking some very basic questions here.
They won't know who I am.
No, they won't know who you are, because consider that our family is
Who
all...
else's name's Halline in this family? I'm the one and only, I'm the original.
Okay, in this family. But think about our families all died off, and these are some aliens in the future looking at this tape, you know, trying to figure out who these earthlings were, you know. Okay, I'll be asking some very basic questions to cut it short here. Okay, could you say your name for the camera?
Ellen Halline Hayes.
Very good. Okay, where does your middle name come from?
I don't know, it comes from a lot of people. It comes from my dad, it comes from my grandpa, and it came from somebody else too, I think.
Really? I didn't know it was that long.
Well, your first name, Ellen, comes from your aunt, Ellen, and then Halline comes from your dad
Right.
and grandpa.
All right,
Okay, could you just kind of give us
and they can have it back because I don't think...
could you give us like a short character summary, like what you do, what your hobbies are, you know, how many kids you have, things like
My
that.
hobby is sleeping.
Okay,
How many kids I got? I got 4.
4 kids. And you
And
live
one
where?
grandson.
And 1 grandson, that's good. And you live right down the street here.
I live at 3330 Harvard, Collinsville, Illinois.
Okay, to wrap things up here, let me start getting to the questions here. What do you think your short-range goals are from the next 6 months to the next year? Short-range
If
goals.
you don't understand any questions or don't want to answer them, just say pass.
I pass on that one. I plead the 5th.
Well, do you have any goals, like things you want to do?
Nope.
Nothing special you want to do?
Oh, no. No.
When you're not getting no response out of that, go on to the next.
You wet on you or
Get
something?
on me.
Her first short-range goal is to change your pants.
I
Okay.
gotta get this kid's
Here, let
pants
me
changed.
take him. Here, let me
He's
take him.
Like you said, you mad at me?
Look at
Short-range goal.
Had a little comment late
I
there.
felt that one.
Is it your birthday too?
You wet on me, boy.
Okay, what do
That's
you
what
think?
my grandkids think of me. They just piss on me.
What do you think has been the most significant thing that happens in your life? That has happened in your life? The most important thing.
The most important thing is I had 1 daughter and 3 sons and 1 grandson. That was the best thing ever happened.
That's great. Your children are very
Now, the
important.
worst thing ever happened to me, they grew up and they drive me nuts.
What do you think of some important achievements in your life?
Let me get that glass before it's knocked over.
Some important achievements. Like I joined the Navy, I went to control data, I drive a school bus.
I don't, there's nothing. I pass on it.
Okay. I would like to keep in mind that the questions I ask you, there's no right answer, no wrong answer. It's just your opinion.
I ain't gonna do nothing like that.
Okay. What are your feelings on abortion? Yes? No?
Well, I had 4 kids and I didn't abort none of them. So I don't like it.
What do you think about the case where,
Hey, Michael.
say,
Michael.
well,
Don't be
it's
crying.
probably not possible now, but if you were to get pregnant and the doctor did a test on you and he could clearly say that your baby was going to be born either mentally handicapped or severely deformed,
Get out of here.
would you say, yes, I want to go and have
Well,
the baby?
it's like this, whatever it is, whatever will be, will be.
He's got the water.
The future's not ours to see, you understand?
Okay, Sarah.
Right.
Okay, Doris Day fan.
Right.
What are your views on homosexuality? People are more and more coming out of the closet.
I think whatever anybody is, that's just what they are, you know? Well, who are we to judge them?
Okay, I'll put it to you this way. What about the...
I wouldn't, it's like this, I hope none of my boys are like that. I know my daughter isn't.
Okay,
And I know my boys aren't either, because they're all wild white girls.
so you got this favorite singer that you hear on the radio a lot, and all of a sudden he announces one day that, or you hear it on the news that he's homosexual. Are you going to keep listening to his songs, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter, as long as I like the music. It doesn't
Okay.
matter what he is, as long, you know, there's a lot of them I like listening to their songs, but I don't like looking at them. Like Boy George.
Okay, something that's a little bit more sensitive. What would you do if you heard about well, the homosexual go around the back are claiming more and more that they just want to declare their state of preference. You know, they say, well, I'm declaring that I'm homosexual. What would you do if, say, either Kelly or Brian or David's teacher wanted to declare that they were homosexual? Would it matter to you?
So long as they, you know, they keep their place. I don't think it actually matters, really. So long as they don't lay a hand on my kid, you know, and try to influence my kid in any way. If they want to tell everybody that they're homosexual, fine. But I don't believe that they should to bother anybody else if they're not that way.
Okay, let me get to the next one here. If you had your life to live over again, we'll say start from age 5, would there be anything you would change in your life up to this point?
Yeah, there's one thing I would change.
This one thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is pretty important. What is it?
I would have had my kids earlier.
Earlier? What time did you start?
17.
How much earlier did you start?
14, I think.
What's the big difference in starting earlier?
Well, your grandma is younger. Your younger grandmother.
So that's significant.
And when you get to be a great-grandmother, you're a young great-grandmother, too.
You can spend more time with your kids. You get to grow up with them.
Right. Right. That's what I did. I grew up with my kids. And I'm growing up with my grandkids, because I ain't fully grown yet. I'm far from being grown.
If the next minute for your last, where do you think your soul would go?
Right now, up to 2. Or up the creek without a paddle, probably. I don't know. Do you really know where your soul's going to go?
Yes, I do.
Or you're definitely sure that you know where your soul's going to go?
I have a Bible at home that tells me.
I don't believe anything until I see it.
Well, some people need proof.
You got a brain?
I mean,
But,
there's a lot of people that can go to church every day in the week, but that doesn't mean they're going to go to heaven.
That's true. Keep in mind.
Only the chosen few. Go on to the next one.
Okay, just keep in mind that your questions aren't right or wrong. It's just your opinion, okay? We're not looking to...
What are you doing, trying to make fun of this when we get older?
No, we just...
We're sitting around, well, I'm in the rocking chair now.
We just maybe take us out a year or 2 from now and see what your thoughts were back then on the important issues of the day. And these are the things that appear in the news most often. Okay, another thing that's probably going to give you something to think about. What are your feelings on the nuclear arms race?
Pass.
Okay.
I don't have no feelings on it. The sooner they set the bond
Something
off, the
that's
better.
related to that is President Reagan's.
You know, I believe that we're living in hell right now. I really do. It's however we make it through.
Is life hellish for you right now?
It's hellish for everybody that's living. Don't say it ain't. Every day in your life, there's all kinds of problems. That's hell.
Well, some people look at it as situations to work through and not problems. Somebody in the Navy once said there are no problems, just situations.
You pay.
That's right.
I do believe it. Let's go on.
Okay. On the subject of the nuclear arms race, President Reagan's new budget proposal for 1985.
I hate Reagan. Don't even talk about him.
Okay, but
I didn't vote for him, people, and I wouldn't dare.
The issue's not on him. It's on the budget. The scale's simple like this. On military spending.
Let's pass on that because I don't even like to talk about him.
Okay, well, it's not on him. It's on a different subject. Military spending. Most of the money's being
I don't
poured
know
into
anything about
military
military. I ain't in it. Let's pass. Go
I'm not in
on.
it either. But do you think we should pour more money into building up our weapons or pour money into our social programs? Where should our money go? This affects you. You're paying taxes.
Yeah, I think it should go into social, helping people. I think that's where it should go. Instead of making bombs to kill us all. Well, I guess it's pretty good. They're going to make bombs to kill us all. What we need was social life because they're going to kill us all sooner or later. No, seriously, I think it really should help people. It's really silly to spend money on making bombs and stuff, and here people are starving to death. They're sending people to the moon. There's people starving to death. I think it's really ignorant.
Do you think we should pour more money to Medicare, Medicaid, and aid programs?
Right. Well, that's what I think we should do.
They had about everything you could think of over on the salad.
Instead, I'll tell you something else. Instead of sending money overseas, there's a lot of people right here that are starving to death in the United States.
So you don't think we should be sending money to Ethiopia?
Nope.
Not at all?
Hey, I seen on TV where these little babies are starving to death, and these women keep on having babies. That's ridiculous. There's something to do about that. They can control the population. That would help out an awful lot.
Do you know why
Everything ready for you.
they want to have so many babies over there?
Because they don't believe in birth control.
Birth control is not available to them.
Oh, bull. I mean, that's one thing that they should send over there before they send the food. They sort of send the pills.
Okay, well, the reason why they want to have so many children is their children is their wealth, because they don't have a place that they can go down the road and work and make money. They make and raise children so that the children can work the land with them and help support them. Their children is their wealth. Their children is what help keeps them alive when they're old.
Well, that's silly to keep on having children that you can't afford to feed.
Well, I guess they figure
That's
that...
just like you now. You ain't had no kids. Right?
I'm going to pretty soon. I'm not in quite the situation they are in.
Hey, Kelly, why don't you
No, but I mean, you don't want to bring a child in this world to starve to death and do without, right? I don't think that. I think that's awful. You just keep on having more than you can afford to feed. They can't afford to take care of themselves, so they are figure they are. It'd be better to do something about the birth control.
What's your solution to that? How should we help?
Well,
Ethiopia?
I think United States ought to ship a bunch of bills over to the foreign countries, and if they don't take it, they don't eat.
That could be one solution.
Okay,
But-
now, if you had a chance to take a pill, and they're going to give you something to eat afterwards, wouldn't you take the pill? I would take the pill, man.
That's a long-range solution, though.
No, but I think it should grab them people up over there and do something to them, because I'm willing to send over there to them as soon as I find out that they're going to do something about the birth control. Otherwise, forget it. They're bringing them starving little babies into this world to starve to death. Just keep on having them babies. I think that's really, that is not, them people are something else. They don't deserve to be on this, in this earth if they don't try to do something for themselves. You know, God helps those who helps themselves. They're not even helping themselves.
They work a lot of money.
Why do you suppose you had 4 children? Why didn't you stop at 1
I
or
don't
2?
know. I guess I was cursed.
Jim, come on.
That was the most important event in your life, though, having
Right,
your
it
children.
was. It was, but I tell you, you know why I had 4 kids?
Why?
Because I wasn't going to have the 5th one, that's why.
There was no certainty, though, that when you had your children, that you were going to be able to feed them, though.
But we live in the United States that, I could have got something for them to eat. We live in a land of plenty.
You watch it.
I know there's a lot of starving people out there, but they're just not going about it the right way.
Well, they don't have grass over there. What
I'm talking about
happened?
here in the United States.
What's happening over
Grass
there?
over there. Jimmy, there's cows. They worship the cows. And I think it's really ridiculous. There's their food right there walking around. They're feeding them and starving themselves. Now why are they feeding them?
So that this cow can pull a plow to till the soil to raise crops.
Well, what good is the crops if they,
If
they're
they
not...
kill the cow, they cut your grass.
Look this way.
Because they can't pull the plow themselves.
Well, let's go on to something else.
Okay.
That's the first round, like you and Larry go.
Jim winds up. We got
Yeah,
two
well,
more.
Larry told me about that.
How much?
We got 2 more people.
You guys are doing.
Okay, that's about it. That's all the questions.
Instead of him.
How you doing today, Gra
Good.
Gra? Okay, I can call you Gra Gra, but the people out here who are seeing this film 10 years from now don't know your name. So I'd like you to state for them your full name for us.
Yeah, Bonnie Inez magazine.
Inez. Where did you get Inez from?
Well, it was from my doctor's. His daughter was a nurse. And,
Really?
They named me. I didn't care nothing about the name after I got old enough to think about it, but I guess it might as well have been that as anything else. I'm not turning my head. I should pretend that's you.
So you can just kind of keep looking around as you talk.
Uh-huh.
How you feeling today?
Okay.
You've had a couple of operations here. Do you think they're healing up pretty good?
Oh, yeah.
Man, your scars are really going
You can tell
away.
that they're going away. I'm using this. I make sure to go on the meditation scars. Not all gone over here.
They're looking real good.
We would ask you to show us your scars, but
Well,
show us your operation.
Well, they're visible. All my scars are visible. I got scars on my legs.
You go ask your dad.
On my neck, but this is the last one. I won't never have to have no more.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I won't have to have no more.
Excuse me. What do you think your short-range goals are for the next 6 months or next 7 months?
It's fine.
Just living each day as a country.
That's right. One day at a time.
That's the way you got to do it. What do you think the most significant thing that has happened to you in your life up to this point?
Well, I believe that belonging to God is the most important thing. Because, you know, life is so much easier for you when you turn your life all over to God.
It sure is.
And you don't have a thing to worry about. Not nothing. I don't worry about nothing. Nothing.
That's the way it should be.
And I know when I get in there and they have to operate on me, I know it's going to be okay. So I know He's going to take care of me. So, I mean, I really feel sorry for people that don't live like that. I really do. They don't know what they're missing. They really don't.
What do you think of what do you think are some of the most important achievements in your life? Having your kids can be one thing.
Raising my family, yeah. And having all my beautiful grandchildren. I tell you, the grandchildren plays a big part in the grandparents' life. And so I wouldn't have missed that for nothing. No, I wouldn't take nothing for that experience. With all you kids and all.
I don't know why you had to do
I
it.
just wish it'd been a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I don't know why you had to do it.
I know the Lord knows best, though. He knows your parents, they don't have a life to live on. They can't make it too good for them.
He told me that. I said, well, what's it, how are you going to Cheryle stand?
So
right
far,
now? He says,
he's
well,
taking care of the ones that we have got. So
she's getting divorced from him next
I
week.
think that's just wonderful.
Okay.
That's how she did.
Do you have any feelings on our national deficit? All this big money we owe?
Well, I don't know. It's the right and wrong. I know some of it's right and some of it's wrong. And we can't do much about it. We're just a little sheep out here, and we ain't much we can do. But we can say what we think on these things as they come up. But they don't give us much chance to put it into action, to do anything about it. But I believe there'll be something done about it. That's where the Lord comes in again. And these biggest men that's well educated and everything, they don't mean a thing with that, because if they're not doing what's right, it'll be taken out of their hands.
If you had to, well, if you could go back to maybe age 4 or 5 and start your life over again from that point, what things do you think you'd change?
Well, I think a kid 4 or 5 years old and never thinking very serious. No, always thinking about being hungry or
Well, starting from that point and going forward,
be fed.
what things would you change in your life?
Well, if we could know what we do now, back at that age, well, we would have a glorious life, because a lot of people would never make a mistake if they could know at that age, say 6 years old. If they could know what they did after they got 40 or 50, they'd never make a mistake. But I think the Lord knew that was going to be impossible, that people would make mistakes. But He was going to be right there to help them get out of these mistakes. And it was a lot of trouble and everything, but He'll help you through it all. He'll do just what He says He'll do. He'll help you out of it, and everything will be all right. Oh, it was. I had a terrible life, Jimmy, and it was times that I never thought we'd ever make it. But I knew it was the help of the good Lord that we made it, because yeah, I went to bed hungry many a night as a little kid, and I'd think, I guess we'll all just starve to death. That's the way it'll be. That's the way we'll die. But the Lord had other plans for us. He didn't make us rich or anything like that, but He seen that we was fed.
If you were to die tonight, where do you think we'd go? Where do you think your soul would go?
Well, I would go, I know where the Lord had plans for me to go. And
Well, do you think He would have plans for you to go to hell?
oh no, He don't have no plans like that. No, because I know there's a better place to live
Yeah, he would like
when we're here on earth.
I bet he
There's
would
a better
like
place to be
I bet he would like
when we leave here than it is here. And I just hope that a lot of people will know this and make better plans so that they can live in a better place than they've had here on earth.
So you think you'd go to heaven?
I know I would. I done been there.
He weighs 14 pounds, I weigh.
Did I never tell you that?
I think so, but why don't you, for the sake of the camera and the other people, why don't you tell us about it?
Well, that was, let's say it was early in June. This is how God can show you the things that's going to happen to you. Well, you see, that was early in June. The the Lord just come got me.
That's like I
I
did say, somebody give me something.
want to show you something.
Or start crying for you
So-
being on me.
Were you asleep or were you awake?
I was asleep. And so we went up into heaven. And, oh, it was a beautiful place. And he said, this is, I want to show you that this is where you're going to live. And see, that way I know that we will die when we leave here, but we'll rise again and we'll live. Because he showed me all this, and I just thought, oh, this is just wonderful. I didn't really want to come back, but he said we're going to come back.
What was all this that he showed you?
It was, you seen the walls was lined with silver, and we went right down a hallway like. And he said, over here is this place, and over here is another. And so I was...
Like rooms, like kitchens and bedrooms, or?
No, it seemed more like living rooms to me than that. And so then we went so far, and he said, well, this is for the nephew have seen.
So he showed you a big house or something?
It was kind of like a big house. And he said, well, I wanted you to see this. And so when we got back to the door where we come in at, well, he just turned back around where we had been already and held out his hands like that. And he says to me, he said, now this is your mansion. It's where you're going to live. And I said, oh, I love this. I don't want to go back.
Do you think it's Jesus?
Yes, it was him. And so, and during all of that, well, I didn't know what was going to happen a few days later. And, but he did tell me. He said, I will be with you always. And so, it wasn't but a few days after that until I knew I was going to have that operation.
Well, first of all,
I had to go to Woodlands
back
Hospital.
the bag in.
And so, that night before I was operated on the next morning, I thought, I guess this will be the end of me, and the Lord appeared, and he said, no, this is the beginning.
How did he appear?
This is just the beginning.
Were you asleep or were you awake?
I was asleep. And he said, this is the beginning.
Were there bright lights or clouds or anything like that?
No, it seemed like he just stood by the bed and he put his head right in like that. And he said, no, you're just beginning to live. And don't you worry about this at all, because you're not going to have no pain. You just do whatever you're told. And you're going to be all right. I've never had a pain or anything.
So you have a peace about where you're going, right?
That's right.
And took it back in the box.
And no doubt.
No, I don't have no doubt in my mind.
In other words, the top of it, you know, the raised from the top of it.
What's the happiest thing in this world for you?
Oh, my kids. That's all that parents. When everything else is gone, well, then they have their children. But, you know, we also have to lean on the Lord, too, because He's there.
Yeah.
And no matter what happens, He'll see you through it. And it, I mean, it ain't bad. You don't mind it because it ain't bad. Like going over and letting them rip my neck open on one time on the other. When I tell you this, it is the truth. It didn't bother me in the least, and I wasn't worried. Because I knew that I wasn't going to have no pain or nothing like that. I was always really fearful of pain. There wasn't going to be no pain with it, okay.
God reassured you, didn't he?
He sure did. And I mean, He took all that away. A lot of people say, oh, you just exaggerate, you just imagine you didn't have a pain. I'd like to worry them people to death at Wood River. Because they would come in and out, they come in and out so many times and woke me up and asked me, did I need a pain shot? And I told them, no, you sure be the first one to know if I did. And they said, Well, we never had nobody to be operated on here that didn't need a pain shot. And I said, well, will I be the first one on the list, huh? And they said, you sure will be. And I said, well, I was told that I wouldn't have no pain. They said, who told you anything like that? And I said, I told you that I was told that. And because they wouldn't have believed me if I would have told them. So.
Going back to when you said that Jesus appeared to you, did he look like he did in the pictures, or
Yeah.
with a beard and long hair? And
Yeah.
did you see the nail prints in his hands?
No, it wasn't that much time, I don't guess. But the main thing was that he thought enough of me to come and reassure me that I was going to be all right. And I thought, well, what have I got to be worried about? If he told me that I was going to be all right, there's no use in being bothered about it. And they told me, whatever you do, don't you have any water in your mouth or anything like that before going to the operating room. So, that morning about 4:30, something like that, it seemed like what you can't have, you want, you know.
Yeah.
And, boy, I mean,
Hello!
I felt like my mouth was dry as cotton.
Really?
And this voice said,
Probably from the anesthetic.
no, I hadn't been operated on. I was still on nerves about it. And so this voice come to me, this explained, well, you can go wrench out your mouth and not get a drop of water down your throat. Just wrench it out every little bit and it'll help you. That took all that away. Take care of all that. I said, whatever you do, don't get a drop of water in your mouth. From 12 o'clock on. Sometimes be operated on because one drop of water could kill you. I'd wrench out my mouth every few minutes after that. So I'm not worried about it. It didn't bother me none at all.
So you believe in life after death? Do you believe you'll see Papa again when you die?
I sure
Raining, freezing rain, and snow was supposed
I
to be
think I'll see my parents.
And Gary?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sure believe I will. I got a lot of brothers that's going on, and my son, yeah. I believe I will, because I know little Gary was sure ready to go.
It'll be a great day when our family meets up here
Oh,
again.
and yeah, it will be. It sure will. A lot of people don't believe like that, but I feel sorry for them if they don't believe that way. But I also seen the time that I wanted to believe like that, and it just seemed like something Satan, of course, I guess it was. He tries to drag you back, you know. Whenever you're living for God, he's going to do something to try to get you to listen to him.
Yeah.
And he's pretty strong, and he works with these people, but when you have won out over him, you've won a great victory.
That's true.
Yeah, it sure is.
We're going to stop right now because we're going to have to squeeze Ronnie in here in the last 5 minutes,
Yeah.
okay?
Where's Ronnie?
He ain't here. He went walking.
He went off somewhere with
He
the
went
boys.
down and
Let me make sure we got everybody in.
not.
Did we get everybody in?
No, Ronnie disappeared. Is it on pause?
Oh, it's not on pause.
Ronnie.
Can I say something?
Have your personal comments. Go ahead, just anything you want to say.
Now, this is happy birthday to Pat for her ice cream and cake. Her 41st birthday, I think. Sparky, you can't have none. You get some after bed. Well, I guess you can. Now, I was on a while ago. I wanted to say, in this world, you want to make sure you get an education for you young kids. Make sure you finish school, and if possible, go ahead and take some college. A year, 2 years, get some kind of degree. Do what you want to do. Get a degree in what you want to do. That's the main thing. Do what you like. And if you need to, follow up with some training on that. But everywhere you go, there's going to be rules and regulations. No matter where you're at, you have to follow some kind of rule, or there's some kind of regulation you have to follow through with. And you can learn something new every day. Don't let nobody tell you you can't. There's always something new to learn every day. I don't care what it
What are you
is.
sitting up there for, Sparky?
That's the main thing. Do what you want to do and enjoy life while you're here, because you only live once.
I think he
Is that
does
right,
too.
Sparky?
I think he wants some cake.
That's very good.
Now we are.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mom. Happy birthday to you.
I get to zoom my mom in.
All right, anybody say goodbye, Brian.
Bye.
Come on, look at him. Say goodbye from Brian Warlock.
Bye.
Goodbye, Bye. Don't you know your name? Goodbye, Cheryl. Get your last chance. Last chance. Say goodbye to Brian Warlock.
I'm getting a close up of everybody's face here.
Okay, Judy, say goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We'll see
Goodbye,
y'all
Kelly.
February 9th, 1985.
Cheryl, say goodbye. Goodbye, Cheryl. I mean, Judy.
Say goodbye, Judy.
Goodbye, Gracie. She's leaving. Say goodnight, Gracie. Say hi, y'all. Good night, John boy. All right, there's a fade button you could push on there if you knew where it was at, where you could just fade out.
Mary Ellen.
Since it's not, that's the end of the video.
We're going to fade out on you, Mom. Stand still, I'll fade out on you.
Where's Cindy Lauper when you need her?
Okay, fade it. Gone.
Mom, you should have died
Gone.
orange and yellow.
Gone.
Gone, good. We got to unhook her.
Got it all done?
Yeah.
The tape?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It's first.